Do people call you Bob?
No.
Okay.
People get beat up for calling me Bob.
Bob, I feel like is weird.
It is. That's my dad.
Mr. Bob.
So you don't say Bob.
So we don't say
Bob.
Mr. Turtle is my father. Nobody? Finding Nemo? Nobody? All right, whatever.
Which one? The first one?
The first one. Mr. Turtle. No.
What's Mr. Turtle?
From Nemo? When he was asking, and he was like,
okay.
no, Mr. Turtle is my father. So that's what it reminded me of when you said
like
no.
Mr.?
Yeah.
It's really funny because I'll be out and someone will call me Mr. Sharon.
Huh?
And it'll be like, well, Mr. Sharon's my dad. You can call me Bobby. Okay, that's cool.
Sir Sharon.
Sir Sharon. How's the coffee? Good?
Oh, yeah, great.
We're live.
Good.
Oh, okay.
We've been live. Only kidding. We're over here stirring coffee. If you can't see it on Facebook and YouTube, we're over here stirring coffee, delicious coffee, because of this weather. Actually, it was kind of warm today. But anyways, let me make some introductions here. This is episode number 107 with the CobraCast podcast with me, your designated driver for tonight, Bobby Sharon. And I got Danielle and I got Zach from Autumn Stay. Now, I gotta go back because for some weird reason, I was calling you guys Autumn's Fall. I don't know what it was.
I saw it up there on your thing. It says Autumn Stay, like Autumn Stay with the little.
Yeah. So I'm talking to Jim the other night, right, when we were at Texas Miss, and I said, man, and he was asking me who was coming on. I'm like, yeah, Autumn's Fall. He goes, who's that? I'm like, they played here before. He goes, you sure? It's like,
Jim's probably like, no, Autumn's Fall hasn't.
The one we usually get is Autumn's Day.
Autumn's Day.
Uh-huh.
Autumn's Day, because when you say the too fast,
Autumn's
Yeah.
Day. It
sounds like Autumn's Day.
Oh, so what's up with the name, if I can ask? Let's get into it. Come on, let's get into it.
So let's flash back to 2011. Yeah. We used to be called this stupid name called A Ghost Among Us.
A Ghost Among Us. That's cool.
I thought it was
That was badass.
It was my idea.
We were like having a band practice and like the lights started to flicker and we didn't have a name. And so Autumn Stay is the brainchild of me and Zach. And we just decided to just do it, make it happen because he was a drummer, I was a vocalist. Why the fuck not?
Hey, now.
And so he was like, oh, there's like a ghost among us. And he was like, we should make that our band name.
I thought it was
We
cool.
were like, okay. I mean,
That's
why
a very
not?
cool band name.
Well, it's
I
already
thought so.
taken.
Ghosts Among Us was taken. So, I mean, they're similar.
It's really funny because you ever notice on Facebook now, all the bands, they put ATX after the name?
Yeah.
So it's like, Darkness Ending, ATX, or whatever. That I'm not sure
you mean
Darkness
like
Ending has that.
The at
No,
symbol or
it'll be
whatever?
part of, if they're on like Instagram or Twitter, it's always it's like a ATX after it because somewhere, somehow, there's another band with that
There's
name.
another band.
Yeah,
Yes.
so there's nothing.
Yeah. So, like, we had talked about it and we're like, well, maybe we should find another band name because, there's already it was a really big established band with this very similar name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, so let's keep things open, keep our mind thinking about it. So one day I was at home on the toilet. I do a lot of business in that bathroom, toilet room.
That's the business room.
Hey,
Yeah.
now.
And
That'll work. I like that.
And
Keep it honest. Keep it honest.
It's true. I do a lot of business in the bathroom.
I do too in the morning. No, I'm on the phone, just.
Yeah. It's like newspaper reading
Yeah.
time.
I sleep in there. I sleep in the shower. So
I was about to say you sleep on the toilet.
I
That's
sleep
new.
in the shower.
But I was, doing business, and I remember thinking I had this coworker, and her name was Autumn. She had beautiful red hair, but she was a total bitch, and I hated her. And I had worked with her that day, and I just remember thinking like, what a bitch! But she has such pretty hair, and her name is Autumn. And how dare she have such a really pretty name and pretty hair and
But
be
she's
such
a bitch.
She's a bitch, and.
I love it. This will be great tonight.
Yeah. And I just remember thinking like, oh, her hair's really pretty. Her hair reminds me of Autumn. I like Autumn. I wish Autumn would stay forever.
Oh, that's where it comes from.
But I knew it was too feminine sounding of a name for our band members at the time. Now, Zach is super open to any idea I ever throw out. He's always been like,
I try.
let's do it. At the time, we had a guitarist. He was so total dickbag. And I knew if I was going to get him to agree with it, I was going to have to manipulate the situation in my favor. So I texted the group and I was like, I had this dream last night that we were having band practice and it was so hot and it was like summertime and we were all saying, man, we wish it was fall so it could be cold all the time. And one of the band members was like, yeah, I wish Autumn would stay. Oh my God, what a great band name. And I was like, I totally had a dream that was our band name. And they were like, well, if you dreamt about it, we got to do it. And I was like, yes.
You pulled it out.
It didn't come out for a while. She didn't tell us for
It's
a while.
not a bad name though. I've heard, these days, back in the 80s when the hair metal was big, those names fit, and then it was like Skinny Puppy and, just all these weird names. It's like, okay, after a while it became a thing where the names, you didn't know what you were getting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's sort of like that now.
Yeah.
Except for like the real, hardcore thrash metal bands. You know where they're coming from.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But, man, so how was your New Year's? You guys go out for New Year's?
I stayed in. I drove up to Waco and I stayed in. The weather was bad.
Oh, I know.
Weather was really bad.
It was weird because I had a buddy, his cover band was playing over at Palmer Lane Tavern. We were going to go out. Then it was like, we went outside and it was this blistering cold outside. And my girlfriend's like, you know what? Why don't we just stay in tonight? I'm like, good idea. Then it started snowing and we started taking pictures, so it was cool. Then listen to this. So the next day, right? Of course, my heater was on all night. I got to get this out because I told this story before, and they're like, you got to tell it on the podcast. So I had the heater on all night, and the way my bedroom is set up, the heater just like blows down on me, right? So I wake up the next day. I'm in the kitchen, and I'm doing whatever, and I'm like kind of kneeling over the sink, just, doing dishes or whatever, and blood just started pouring out of my nose. I got a nosebleed. Oh. Never had one before. I was freaking out because I know what it was. So, and it's like, there was like just a steady stream of blood. I'm like, oh, so, my girlfriend's like, tilt your head back and do this and do that. And it was off and on for like 5 hours. Craziness.
5 hours?
Yeah. So I'm on YouTube. I go on, I'll find out how to do it. You find out how to do anything on YouTube. So went on YouTube and this guy was like, you need to do this, you need to do this, and then I did it, then I was fine. But then this morning I woke up and another little stream came up, but I was fine after that. So craziness.
And they say
it was
that
the heat. You think it was the
heat?
Yeah,
that's what they were saying because if you have like dry heat in your house, and it's different if you have dry heat and it's a thing where you run the heat for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, but if you're running it 24/7, like the other night was like
going.
Yeah, it's just going, it's blowing on you, it just dries the inside of you out. So.
That and they say the tilt the head back thing's actually supposed to be worse because it runs through the sinuses.
Yeah, and it drains down into your throat. So I was like, pinching my nose like this and did it. And sitting there like sticking my pinky, with Vaseline up there and spreading it around.
I had a friend who thought it would be a good idea with the nosebleed to put tampon in his nose.
How do you fit a whole tampon in his nose?
He had big nostrils.
God
well,
dang,
to start with, he had big nostrils, but then it grows. They don't start off
movie?
that big, but then they grow. You what?
Oh, that's right.
It's from a movie.
I think it was in a movie as well. That was.
Wait,
that was
did you just
Sean.
say you think it grows?
No, it grows.
What, the tampon?
When it's wet, yeah.
when it's wet.
When it's saturated, it grows.
It's saturated.
Expands would probably be
I didn't
better.
even think about that.
I mean, it seems like a solid plan, but I mean, it just doesn't look appealing.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah, for me, I didn't know what to do. So I'm all better now. So if anybody's worried out there in podcast land.
He doesn't have a tampon in his nose.
I'm safe and I'm wonderful. Yeah, so we just stayed in and just, I'm glad I did because just a lot of crazy stuff was going on.
Yeah, and the weather was brutal. I mean, like I said, I went up to Waco. There were 40-something wrecks that night in Waco alone. Somebody, as you head up 35 and you hit Waco, Highway 6 right there, there's a giant overpass.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And on that overpass, they had it closed off by the time I got there. Somebody had jackknifed, a semi had jackknifed on that and was hanging off. And luckily the guy was saved and everything, but that was just the start of the evening. I mean, there were wrecks all over town. They closed off a bunch of overpasses and stuff, and you were doing pretty much 20 through the town.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I'm not like really worried going where I was going. I wasn't worried about that. I was coming back.
Yeah.
Because who knows at 2 o'clock in the morning what the roads are going to be like and who's driving, people.
Yep.
The problem with people in Texas that are from Texas, they don't know how to drive in ice and snow and stuff.
Yeah,
they
they're
just
not used
don't.
to it.
Maybe the old schoolers do with the younger people.
Doesn't happen often enough.
Yeah, that's the thing. And they where I'm from, when there's a snowstorm, they either put like salt on the roads or dirt on the roads. Here, they don't do anything.
Nope.
At least not quickly. They did it, but it was like next day. And at that point in time, it's...
Yeah, but, I was worried about overpasses. Those are the worst.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I'm glad everybody made it home safe and hopefully everybody had a great time and stuff. So, yeah.
Watch the ball drop,
That's what we did. On CNN, I think we watched it.
Yeah, no, it was hilarious. Those two guys are.
Oh, did you see that? Did you watch CNN?
Yeah.
Did you see where they're at the pot dispensary?
Yes.
They're in this this one. This is on CNN, right?
Yeah, it was on CNN.
So they got the two guys from New York, and then they have this party bus on another screen. They're going to Colorado, and they're passing joints around. They're passing bongs around. They're drinking the weed wine.
They were at what was it, a pot and paint party or something like that?
No, it was pot, pass, and paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they sit there, and the newscaster, she is just holding a joint in her hand, and she goes, and what you do is you hit it, and then you pass it to the next person. And as she passes it, somebody else hands her another one, and she goes, and there you go, puff and pass. And
like
live
educating
on
the
CNN.
world about this?
Yes,
Yeah.
live on CNN.
Wow.
Yeah, I was, and people are going, well, she's not hitting that. I'm like, she's hitting.
Oh,
She's
I'm
got to
sure
be
she
hitting it or
is.
something.
Maybe
I'm sure she
not
is.
with the camera rolling, but
Oh yeah, she probably got blasted.
Oh, more than likely. You could definitely tell the way she was talking that there was
She
a little
was having
something
a
there.
good old time. Like I was talking to my girlfriend, I'm like, and she's like, that looks like it's a good time. We should go do that.
She was the lucky one. She's sitting in a house, and the other two guys, the main guys, are sitting at 9 degrees in New York.
Yeah. Then there was
sitting
two.
outside for hours.
Then there was two of them. I think there was two in New York, two in
New Orleans.
New Orleans, and then and two in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had a bunch of people, but we stopped watching it. We're up, a good amount of the night. But when it was time for like Colorado and in California to come in, they kind of rewound it till the New York
Yeah.
thing again. I don't know why.
Yeah. No.
I was all bummed out.
Once it hit 12, there it went to New Orleans, and as soon as it hit in New Orleans, which was with us, then from that point they just started repeating.
Yeah.
Like
I'm like, what the hell?
stuff.
What's the point of that? I'm sure people in California want to see their own countdown. Never mind.
okay.
See the big ball in Times Square drop.
Again.
Again. I did that 1 year, a long time
Really?
ago.
Did you?
But it was bad. You got to realize when I did it, I was like 19 or 20 or something. And New York isn't what it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Disneyland in Times Square. When I lived, I used to go there. It was like, hookers and homeless people and just sex shops for miles. And I mean, X-rated movie theaters.
That's
and,
exactly what my mom said.
yeah.
Because she's from, she went to Massapequa High School, Long Island.
Long Island,
Yeah. And she was telling me that, like, Times Square now is just, this beautiful place of Broadway musicals.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we went to the Sephora because we went 2 years ago with her, and it was awesome. And she was like, this is absolutely nothing like it used to be. It was not a good place to be back in the day.
It's sort of like how old school Las Vegas used to be.
Oh, yeah?
And then, like, now it's like you go to Las Vegas. It's not like it was in the 60s and 70s. It's all geared towards families.
Is it? Las Vegas?
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
never
hell
been,
yeah.
and I've always heard it was just
You
gambling.
gotta go. It's so much fun.
I went once.
It's a
I
blast.
went with my mom, and I was probably, looking back, I think I was 6 years old, and
Oh, yeah,
all
we
I
gotta go now.
did was spend time in the arcade. I just kept running up to her, quarters, mom, quarters.
It's an adult playground. It really is. But on the flip side of that coin, there's a lot of but it's geared towards, they keep the hookers off the street,
Yeah.
But now I was told there's still bill flyers all
There's-
over
oh,
the
yeah, it's
ground.
like You walk by, they're slapping things like this, and they have like these vans with big signs on the side of them for a good time. Call, she's a chick on the side or whatever, But
for a good time.
for a good time in Las Vegas. Yeah, it's yeah, but they're trying to weed out all the bad stuff so people come and spend their money. That's the whole
Right.
that's what the point of all that shit is
Yeah.
to make money. So if you're a family of 5 and you're in Times Square and some hooker walks up to your son who's 6 years old, hey baby, you looking for a date? You're probably not going to come back.
Little off-putting. You probably don't want to be back.
No,
Exactly.
what I hated about Times Square was there was this Elvis there. And he was the jankiest looking Elvis I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he had
the
on
jankiest.
Yeah,
jank.
he had on like sneakers, man, but he was in like the
jumpsuit?
yeah, the typical Elvis jumpsuit, And he was like, "Oh, take my picture." And we're like, "Okay." So we take a picture and he's like, "All right, now give me money." And we were like, "Wait,
Yeah.
wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, you can't afford some money to give me, like a 5 or a 10." I was like, "No, actually, I don't. You don't even have a nice outfit on." And I was like, "I'm not going to give you this money." And he was like, that's not how this works. I'm like, "This is absolutely how this works.
That's-
And you're not getting my money."
That's what's really funny about the ones in Vegas. If you go to Vegas, everybody thinks there's like about 1 million Elvises walking around. There really isn't. I remember every time I've gone, I've seen like 1 or 2. And there's one guy when I go, he's always there. And super nice. He doesn't ask you for money, but people give him money, give him $1 or $2 to take a picture with him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say he looks like him, but I mean, it's a thing where it's just kind of cool to have your picture taken with Elvis, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, some of them are, I don't know.
This was like the world's worst. He
The
had a
jankiest.
backpack
The
on, even a
jankiest Elvis.
backpack.
That's a great word.
That janky Elvis. He was horrid, and
Just rolling around with a backpack on and tennis shoes.
demanding like $5-10. I was like,
And he was a janky Elvis, so it's like not
he
even.
didn't even have a good haircut.
shit.
He had sneakers.
Man,
I
that's messed
can't.
up. He had sneakers on?
Sneakers.
He didn't have like covers on the sneakers?
Nothing.
Man, that
No,
sucks.
he just had, and you could tell it was like
terrible.
a Elvis like really crappy costume. Maybe he slept in it. It was not white. It was like
White.
like yellow sort of tinted
Off-white.
Yeah,
Oh, that's not good. Oh, I hear what you're saying.
dirty janky Elvis.
Oh, good God Almighty.
It's making more sense now, the jank.
So now it's 2018. So what do you guys got rolling for this year?
Surviving.
Surviving, aren't we all? Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding, man.
New music. One of the biggest things. Trying to get out there with new music. Some good recordings. Trying to build on the band and everything like that. It's been a while since we've gotten some really good recordings out there. It's been a long time since we released our album. So it's really about trying to get out there with some new music, rebrand, like open back up and hit the road.
Yeah, it's funny because like even with this, it's like I haven't done it yet, but if you're gone for a month or two, people like they move on to something else, and you have to like start rebuilding again.
Yeah.
So it's like with you guys. I mean, if you're gone for a year or two or whatever, I'm not saying it was that long.
Yeah.
But it's like you got to like start all over again in a weird way, you know. So
What I've noticed is the Facebook algorithms. I think it's cut down now to only like 10% of your friends or your like followers can see you. So that's a really small margin to work with. So what I've found,
that makes sense.
yeah, why no one sees your things and you have to pay to reach your fans. And so what I found is constantly like every day relentlessly posting, every day relentlessly going live, because it's the only way to constantly reach the people, and
Yeah.
they'll comment and posting. I hate to base our work to memes sometimes, but sometimes if you post a meme, it brings your almost back up in the traction,
Yeah.
and then you can start posting other stuff because people will be like, oh, they posted a meme, and I can then go on their page and see more stuff. And
It's weird, you know. It's weird the stuff that I'm kind of rolling onto, like memes and like kind of like animation posts and stuff. And it's weird what gets hits and what doesn't. You know what I mean? I'm finding out, okay, this works and this I'm gonna leave this alone because that doesn't work.
Yep.
And it's just weird. It's just weird what people pick up on and what people will kind of watch or look at when they're on Facebook or Instagram or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
our attention span for our generation now is like 6 seconds. So you
Oh, I
have
know.
to, you have
And
to
you need
find
a
something
picture.
instantly. It's a picture or a GIF or GIF for those people who are going to kill me
GIF.
for saying GIF. You need or if you anything interactive, if you post like, "Hey, what are you guys doing today?" Use a GIF,
Yeah.
and that just for some reason that gets people going crazy.
Yeah,
Posting.
I don't know what it is because I've done, and the sad thing is I didn't do one for this episode. I put up another post, but for some weird reason, I was so slammed today, and I always like try to put up a GIF or a GIF or whatever, or a picture or something to promote with it. And I understand the whole 10% of your crowd that doesn't. What is it? 10%
It's
actually
like-
see your post
Yeah,
now.
it's like
Yeah.
13 to 10%, anywhere in between there, if even.
That sucks.
It's weird. It's weird that it should be that way. I mean, you know what
Yeah.
I mean. If they're following you, they should see whatever it is that you post.
Right.
But roughly 10% see it, and then you get that little notification that says your post did good like this, but if you pay us $30,
Oh yeah.
you'll reach an extra 1,000 people.
It's
And
like,
I'm
wow.
so frugal that I'm like,
Well, that's the thing too, because the way that they word it is like, oh, we'll send it to the friends of your friends, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you actually sending it to my friends or their friends? What are you doing, kind of a thing?
what I've noticed is if you can get your friends commenting on something, then other people see it. Because I see my friends commenting on things that I'm not like following or not friends with, and then from that I can see you can see what they're doing. So I think that's kind of the thing. You post, and then if your friends comment on it, it'll show it to them, and then their friends. I don't know.
I don't know how it works because Dana from Ear Splitting Media was telling me about how the algorithms work and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm clueless when it comes to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Algo what? Algo who?
I just like miss the days where your most recent was always showing. And
Yeah.
now I'll like refresh Facebook and it's showing me things that I've already seen hours and hours ago. And it frustrates me because I can't keep up with anyone that I want to keep up with unless I go and hit like settings and then go hit most recent. That's the only way to see the most recent stuff that's being posted.
That's
Instagram does it too. You know,
Instagram
you'll
doing that
load it,
too.
and then all of a sudden it's 3 days ago, and you're seeing posts from a week ago.
Yeah. And that's the weird thing is I'll be on like I was on her today, and I was getting a lot of hits off a post that I put up like 2 days ago.
Mhm.
I'm like all of a sudden I'm like, well, I put up this post for this episode tonight. How come no one's hitting this? So what's gonna happen is I'll wake up tomorrow morning and people will be hitting stuff that I hit.
Yeah.
Or I put up like 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
It's like what? So
Yeah, the algorithms just
I
make me
don't know.
really angry. Like I can't. I've already worked really hard to reach those people. It's a lot harder to
I
get people
know.
to like a Facebook page than you think. And like it shows, he can tell you I do nothing but like run around with a like a chicken with my head cut off, being like, "Hey, follow us. Hey, here's our flyer. Hey,
Yeah.
like us." Because you know Facebook
but, I mean,
likes
you have
matter.
to do that though.
You
Yeah.
have to.
I'm the same way with my stuff, and I mean, I'm at that point where I'm about to hit 1,000. For some weird reason, I can't get it.
Can't get it.
I can't get it. It's like you have the people that like your page and the followers. So the followers are like almost right at 1,000, and then the people that like your page like 20 people less.
Mm-hmm.
So I count the people that like the page, never mind the follower people.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, it's just jumping that bridge, you know, and it's just like, God, I've been trying to get to 1,000 for I don't know how long.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's like great, you're at 1,000, but what does that really mean? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, they don't. I feel like
I don't know. There's got to be a secret way. We have to find it out.
probably paying money.
It seemed like the first 1,000 for us. It seemed like once we hit 900, it was like this. Oh, come on, we're close, and it was post and post and post, and you get one here, one there, and it took forever, and it slowly took forever. It seemed like to hit that last 100.
Yeah. I found out a perfect way to do it, and it takes a little bit of time. And I'm going to give the secret to everybody out there. Some people know it already, but like say you have a band, I have a band. You know, where it says invite your friends to like this band. Like so, if I went on your page and invited all my friends to like your page, and you did the same for me,
Yeah.
I did that with a couple things, and it actually worked out really well.
Mhm.
But it's the problem of, is the other person going to do it, or is it, a lot of times people have the same friends,
Yeah.
so it's kind of hokey. But I mean, if everybody did that, it would be a much better world. But it just takes a lot of time to do it,
Yeah.
especially when you have like 3,000 friends or
And when they
whatever the
only
case
let
may
you do so many, and then it's posted, go redo it.
be. Yeah.
Same amount. What's 50?
Yeah, I think so.
Lets you do
Oh, no,
50 at a time.
No, that's for the invites. Because I was talking to Jim over at Texas Miss, and he was telling me something about he got put in Facebook jail because he has like so many events at his club
Yeah.
that he's constantly putting up events and inviting people. So I guess Facebook took it as he was like
Spamming people.
not spamming, but like more like stalking people. You know what I mean? So he was like, so he goes, oh, they just knocked me down to 50 people and yada yada because we're trying to promote this event I got coming up,
Yeah.
and I think he got maybe the 50 deal also. I don't know. So
No, I think that it is like 50 because I've got this cool little system and it actually works out pretty well for us. So if anybody is in a band and wants to give it a shot, go for it. So our video release for our first music video ever, I didn't release it publicly, but I made it known that it had come out. And if somebody wanted it,
I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, if they wanted it, they had to like the photo or leave a comment. Either option got them. And I would sit there and manually send them via Messenger the video. So not only was it ensuring that they were seeing it, but they'd click it. They got, it was really personal. So it got us talking again, got me to be like, okay, this person also wants to be friends. So let me confirm their friendship. And then apparently I was also told that if you start talking in Messenger, their stuff will pop up more often on your feed. So I was like, all right, well, let's give all of this a shot. And it worked marvelous because when the video did release, it already had a couple hundred views.
Yeah.
And then it already had 50 plus likes. It already had like 15 to 20 comments. So it just looked more
Awesome.
impressive when it released publicly than like releasing and someone's like, oh, cool, I'm like the second viewer.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm just me personally, I'm trying to figure out ways like to promote this thing, and it's like there's this. I'm not saying I'm coming up against roadblocks, but I'm like a one-man machine. I have the people over at Ear Splitting Media helping me out. But it's it's the algorithm thing. It's how many people you can actually reach out to, because if only 10% of your people see you, it's like
Yeah.
It's just craziness.
The best thing I found, because I'm part of Unique, and that has really shown me, because I work with a bunch of women who we literally do work just social media, and those girls, damn, they know their business.
What's Unique?
Unique is a makeup company.
Oh, here we go. We're going to get into this. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. But one of the things that really does help is messaging personally. Like we figured out, if you message people, like they come up more and it's more personal. And if it's better, now I'm not saying go, hey, like my band, hey, check it. But it's like, hey, how are you? How you been? Da-da-da-da. Oh, well, did you see my podcast that I'm doing? I'm going live tonight. Did you know that's what I'm doing? Da-da-da. And that little extra personal connection goes such a long way. It's really time, but I do nothing all day but this. So while they're at work slaving away for the man, I'm at home.
Slaving away with the man.
I'm, at home in my PJs on the couch thinking, all right, I've got to message 5,000 people today.
Oh, my God, really?
Yeah. Now, I can't get 5,000 in a day, but,
Woo.
the mindset is, all right, that's how many people like our band page. I got to send out everyone that likes this photo. I sit there on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and just send our video link and stuff.
I'm just getting tired listening to it.
Yeah.
It's like,
it sounds so silly to say it's exhausting, but
it is.
It kind of is, because I'm like, man, it's so beautiful outside. It could be outside, but I could be mingling with people.
It's just the way of the world now. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, that was one of my New Year's resolutions was, man, just to put the phone down more, And I think a lot of people are going to that because, man, people have been just living in their phones for the past 10 years. Actually, the past 5 years real bad. But.
Yeah, I would say the past 5, because I didn't even have an iPhone until 2013, 14.
Yeah, it was about.
Wow, really?
13,
yeah,
14, yeah.
Yeah, it was like way late in the game.
So it was laptop.
Yeah, I brought the laptop everywhere.
Good for you.
Like literally everywhere. He'd be in like one room and I was on the laptop, or I was in the bathroom on the laptop, reading from that laptop wherever it was.
That's funny.
So yeah, I'd say 10 years ago was 2007. I was just graduating. I had a Nokia still.
The brick. The little brick.
Not that bad of a. It was like a Nokia. It was like a new brick.
The only reason I have an iPhone is because I had Motorola Razors for years. I had like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh yeah.
And the last one I was at a bar, drunk, in the bathroom, and I dropped it in the toilet. And I went to get it replaced. To make a very long story short, I went to get it replaced. They couldn't replace it. And I'm like, oh, I'll just take another razor. And the guy like looked at me like a dog, like, because they don't make these anymore. You're gonna have to move up to a smartphone. Yeah,
that's
I'm like, what? I'm like, man, I know this phone. What am I gonna do? You get a phone. It's like type what So, anyways, I think the first one I had was like I think it was a 3GS or something. That was the first one. So
that first smartphone just takes forever too. Trying to get used to that. I liked my buttons.
Yeah,
I liked pressing the buttons. And once those are gone, and the screen. It
was funny because I had a BlackBerry for this job that I had, and I couldn't even make a call on it. I was with the company for a month. I just hated the job, and I said, I got to move on. And I could text on it, but I couldn't take a call. I couldn't figure it out.
What?
Oh yeah. So remember those old BlackBerry
had
all the look like a typewriter,
little like personal PDA.
Oh, couldn't figure it out.
I feel like our guitarist Steven just got the brand new iPhone 10 X or whatever.
Yeah.
And
nice.
Right? And so he's so technology savvy that he's got an iPhone, iWatch, whatever they call it. He's got...
Oh, the iWatch?
Yeah, he's got a Mac computer. He's got iPad. He's got anything Apple. And so he gets this new one, and I pick it up. I'm like, how do I unlock it? There's no home button. And he was
that's
like...
right.
No home button, no, like, Bluetooth or, like,
That's
audio
how
jack.
the 7 and above are like that.
Yeah.
They give you this little dongle. See this little dongle right here?
Yeah.
That's where you got to go.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to use it, and like I kept like hitting, like smacking the screen. I was like, how do you even pull it up? And he was like, it's face recognition. You can't log in anymore. I was like,
they tried it with twins.
Oh, did you also see the one where was it Chinese women, and it unlocked it for a Chinese woman?
They did it for two guys that were twins, and it unlocked for the other one. And they were one of them, they didn't look identical. They sort of did. But it unlocked it for both. I'm like, oops, we got to figure this out.
Well, Steven's in luck because
I'm
not his twin, and he's got like a Vegeta forehead and
a Vegeta forehead.
Yeah, Vegeta from Dragon Ball.
Oh.
He's got a big old forehead. That's Steven. And Steven has like caterpillar eyebrows. We're safe. I can't ever get into his phone.
That Vegeta thing just brought a story that I haven't told in 25 years.
Hey.
When I lived in Connecticut, I graduated high school in '86, and they opened a Taco Bell in our hometown.
Mhm.
And, that area, no one knows about tacos and shit. I mean, it's just, Mexican food back then was like, it was a rarity. You had a little Mexican food here and there, and it was like, but Taco Bell rolled in. And so I roll up, it was like, I'm going to say it was 88 or 89. And you know how they spell fajitas, F-A-J, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, I'll take 2 beef fajitas, and I go, fajitas? I'm like, no, fajitas. He goes, no, fajitas. I'm like, he goes, the J is
fajitas.
silent. I'm
There's
like,
that
fajitas.
accent, man, right
It's the
there.
fajitas. Yeah, so every time I not all the time, but when you start talking about fajitas, I always think of that for some weird reason. But I've never told that story.
Fajitas.
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 And now it's on your podcast. It
Now it's
took
on the podcast,
100
and the
know.
whole
Now
world
they
can hear
know.
about the fajitas.
107 episodes in.
Yeah, I never told about fajitas. Yeah, it was funny because I had a friend from high school used to work there, and he calls me up one night. Back when we actually had phones on the wall, and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "I'm working tonight. What are you doing?" I said, "Well, you gonna cruise the strip?" There was like a strip like that went down, and like one side of the strip was like the rival high school, and the other side of the strip was ours with the McDonald's and all that kind of stuff, right? So, but the Taco Bell was over on the rival side. So he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "Come pick me up when you come by. I'm gonna get out of work." I said, "Okay, cool." So we go out drinking. We're I think maybe 17. We're seniors in high school.
You find a way.
Yeah, find a way, whatever.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. So we had a designated driver. So it was like we're all getting smashed and driving around. And man, I said, "I'm so hungry." And he goes, "I got the keys to the Taco Bell. I got the keys to the Taco Bell." So we go into Taco Bell like 2:00 in the morning, start cooking up food,
What?
That is fantastic.
right? A cop rolls around to the drive-through window.
No
Yeah.
way.
Didn't have the lights on. Didn't have his woo woo. It wasn't on. And he goes, "Will you please open the door for me, please?" Because he thought we were robbing
Yeah.
the place and we were cooking. So I'll make a very long story short. He basically called up my friend's manager and he got fired that night. So
Oh,
we were drunk and hungry. It was fun. Good times.
Back
Did you
then
get,
before,
did you get the food though?
Oh yeah, we were, we totally ate, but it was cool because we were making stuff that wasn't on the menu.
no. So you got the secret stuff.
Yeah, but I remember having this stuff. It was like it was some kind of like jalapeno dip or something. They didn't have it 30 years ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But somehow they made it, and they're like, "Hey, you should try this out. This is awesome," So we're dipping tacos and burritos in it and stuff, and all this.
The little secret menu items.
Taco Bell is my shit, and we're talking about food and all my stuff.
Taco Bell is the vice. Taco Bell and Whataburger are the two like.
Yeah. I don't know what
Just
it's
can't
about.
give up.
I'm not, Whataburger, I'm not a fan. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like
Everyone's-
it. Don't get me wrong. I'm more, honestly, you're probably smack me in the mouth when I tell you this. I'm more of an in-and-out guy.
There it is. There it is. Blasphemous.
Just am. The fries are different though. The fries aren't that good.
Yeah. I can agree. The burger's actually really
the
good.
burgers are good.
Yeah.
Fries are not that good.
No. If you want, no.
And I'll tell you, man, who's got the best fries still around? McDonald's.
McDonald's,
Hands down, McDonald's is the best fries.
True.
But eat them. They're good. And like you said, In-N-Out, their fries get soggy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
the fries are
quickly.
just.
They're
Yeah.
thin and they just get real soggy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Never.
I like Whataburger. Don't get me. But if I had to, pick and choose and all that kind of stuff.
So I have a Japanese sister.
What do you really?
I do.
Are you Japanese at all or no?
Well, I mean, like we found out we have like a super tiny minute amount. But about 10, 12 years ago, I was taking Japanese lessons. And
Like language?
yes.
Okay.
And I was struggling. It was my first time with a language ever. And it was so different. And I was struggling so hard. And my parents were like, "Well, what if we took in a Japanese student for you?" And I was like, yes, please. So they did. And the first place we took her to was Whataburger. And they obviously, Whataburger is definitely just, Texas and maybe I think a couple Oklahoma locations.
Oklahoma.
Something not nationwide, definitely not in Japan. And so we ordered her, just like a burger, fries and a drink. And so we sit down. My dad brings it over to her, and she was already having massive culture shock. She told us that
What is this?
yeah, she thought my mom was a sumo wrestler because my mom is a heavier woman.
Wow.
She was kind of
sumo wrestler.
Yeah, she was terrified of my dad because he's like 6 foot something and she's like 5. And like in Japan, you know, 6 foot is like abnormal. And she thought I was a whore because I
You were a whore.
Yeah,
Damn.
I had like a short skirt on and I had heels to pick her up, and so that was like indicative at the time. In Japan, you know, like a girl that might have been loose. So she was already like having a massive culture shock.
To put it nicely.
Yeah. And we pull into Whataburger. We sit down and like the burger hits the table, and she's like,
she didn't know what to do with it.
no. And her language was, I guess she was learning like British English, so it was totally different.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's already like massive culture shock on every friggin' level, and she barely, I mean, not even a quarter of the burger ate, not even a quarter of the fries. And
Really?
the drink was just, I mean,
too much for her?
Yeah, when I went to Japan, maybe like the glass was this height, and that was your glass that you got with your meals.
Right.
And maybe this might have been a large, his drink here, right here.
Not enough.
But like, you
He
know,
needs a big can.
yeah, with
enough.
water.
24 ounces.
Yeah, it was just insane. I just remember her seeing her face just like, but when she left though, things were a little bit different. She was eating powdered donuts, taking powdered donuts on the airplane. Like,
Yeah, you get hooked on that stuff, man. It's bad.
yeah,
bad.
she tried the first powdered donut. She was like, this is disgusting. You know, and then she
It's
have
funny.
a couple more.
Just try another.
Just
So
keep
where-
going.
So where in Japan did you go?
Tokyo.
Oh, shit.
Hey.
It's funny because I have Apple TV.
Mhm.
You know, I cut cable a long time ago. So the cool thing about Apple TV, if you ever kind of seen one, is they have like these landscape kind of wallpapers,
Ooh.
right? And one is Tokyo, and it just looks like a and it's all at night and it's all lit up and everything. And I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, you know, people make a big deal out of New York City, and New York City is, I'm not saying it's a bad city. I'm gonna say, but if you go to Tokyo, if you go to like Abu Dhabi, if you go to what's the other one that's over there?
Are you
So-
talking about
There's Abu Dhabi, and then there's Dubai.
okay.
And you look at those cities are gorgeous. You know?
I was very much blown away by the beauty and the landscape of Tokyo.
Oh yeah.
And the culture was so different. You know, everyone
course,
is so respectful of everybody. I don't know. I want to live there. It'd be awesome. I want to go back for sure.
It's funny because my buddy's band that went over there, he was saying that they were like, people were looking at them like they were giants, you know?
I was on
Because one of them's like 6'2".
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. Oh, they totally do. And when you're over there, seeing like foreigners at least 10 years ago was still quasi abnormal.
Yeah.
And I just remember being on the bus, and this lady, I guess she was reading a book. You don't talk on the train. You don't talk. And I just see like this, like the eyes popping up from behind a book, and she just kept staring, and I was like, yummy.
But then you go to on the subway in New York City, World Star.
Yeah.
World star.
Yeah, you see all sorts of, but it was so quiet on the train, and I wasn't used to it, and I was kind of naive, and so like silence for an American is like awkward because we're always,
We're always talking.
yeah, or maybe it's just because my mom's from New York and I always fucking talk. I don't know. So like in a restaurant, I guess when you eat in Japan, if you're talking too much, no, the
They tell
guy.
you to shut up.
Yeah. Oh, straight up. So we were at like, yeah, the guy leaned over. We went out and he's like, "You talk too much. Shut up." And I was like,
whoa,
"Ah,
damn.
okay." And then like Ayami, who was like Americanized at this point, was like, you don't tell my friend to shut up. She can talk if she wants. She's American
Wow.
and I'm American and we're going to talk.
Really? They went there in Japan?
Huh?
Like that? They came with you like that in Japan? That's crazy. Wow.
These were like Ayami is my sister,
Mhm.
and then we went out with her brother Shogo, and then Shogo's brother Nori, and Nori.
Some cool names.
Yeah.
Shogo.
Shogo, and yeah, not as cool.
Bobby. Look at Bob.
And so I guess they felt comfortable enough at that point because we were like friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was sitting next to Ayami like this, and then Nori was like
Right.
across the way, and he was like, "You talk too much. Shut up." And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I
They're so
didn't
used to doing
know."
that though. You know?
And it's just habit here. We talk all the time. Talk in between bites of food.
And they
Oh, I
don't.
know.
They weren't eating, and I didn't know. I was like, 18. They were not eating, waiting on me to shut up.
So I guess they wouldn't do good on a podcast then, huh? Would they just sit here and be real respectful and not say anything?
And you'd have to get like a. I mean,
How you
maybe
doing?
on.
Raise your
It was-
hand in turn.
It was so cute. I woke up in Japan my first day, and the jet lag is insane. And I get a knock on the door, and it's Shogo. And my mom made sure we brought a bunch of gifts for them, like candies and things like that.
So sweet.
And because we had her live with us for a year, and then as a gift to her and a gift to me, and for us being so kind to her, they paid for my way to come
that's
spend
great.
for Christmas. Yeah, it was
that's
awesome.
Sweet.
So I get there, and like my mom gifted them with tons of like fireballs, like tons of fireballs.
With the whiskey?
No, yeah.
Just gallons of Fireball.
Just gallons.
Isn't it called Fireball? The little
Yeah,
candies.
the
the little red candies.
Yeah.
Fireballs,
I don't eat them, so I wasn't too sure.
You never had what?
I mean, like
You're from the East Coast and what?
I'm from Texas.
Oh, you're from your mother's from
Yeah,
New
yeah,
York.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. Shit, that was big time up there. We talking about?
Yeah, but she
Beautiful.
brought a ton of those, and like I get a knock on the door, and Shogo just puts his hand out with a bag, right, and he just and gives it to me and just walks off, and I was like, okay, and I open it, and it's a ton of candies. That's all he had to say to me was, He just gave me the bag, walked on. It's like,
Nice.
all right, thanks, Shogo. This was a good talk.
Yeah, so that bottle is either sake or rice wine. Rice wine is sake.
Yeah.
So they were drinking it up here. So that was brought from Japan.
It was. I got really trashed in Japan.
Did you?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to.
I actually had a couple shots. Even though I don't drink, I actually kind of came out of retirement for that episode and had
Well,
a couple
you have
shots.
to.
Oh,
If someone
of
gives it
course,
for you, you
yeah.
have to.
That's another thing too, because my 50th birthday's coming up, and I know that's going to be, with this
kinda
event,
gotta.
this event coming up, and
You're gonna hate your life the next day.
I'm a seasoned professional.
That's what they say. And
Coming
then
out of
I
retirement.
drank when I got older, and then it just smacked me in the face, and I threw up for 2 days. And
Yeah, I fall off the wagon a couple times here and there, but I'm good. But it's not like really hardcore drinking anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I mean, my body won't let me.
my body won't let me know.
What?
Yeah, no.
You're not that old.
No, you have to understand. I just don't drink, and so when I do,
you don't drink at all?
no,
Okay.
there's like no. It's either I don't drink or I'm trash.
That's my thing.
There's no in between.
The problem that I had with all that was I couldn't just have one. I would have one in it. I would always have those little fruity drinks that
Yeah.
tasted really good, and I just pound them back, bam, 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 and next thing you know, I'm hammered. I'm like going, man, I'm feeling so good. I got to keep this going. Bam, 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 bam. The next thing you know, I'm like, right home. All
Story
fucked
of
up
my
and-
life.
Yeah.
That's me. Yeah.
That's Steven too. Steven just he doesn't set it down once it's in his hand.
We went.
It's like he can't let
Fast
go
drinker. I
before
could
it's
pound
done.
back.
Just-
Steven eats. He's a vacuum, and he's a vacuum for drinks and food.
Yeah.
And we went drinking to celebrate his promotion to a GM, and he paid for everything because I'm a broke bitch. And I mean, if someone else is paying,
I'm
you
a
best
broke
believe
bitch.
I'm gonna drink. And he did, and he got this giant fishbowl thing. I don't even remember. It was
Oh,
like,
no, not the fishbowl thing.
yeah, and all of a sudden there's
The
just like
fishbowl.
pictures and videos of him just guzzling this. I mean, I'm talking about massive. It's like a fishbowl for like 4 to 5 people.
Yeah, I know what
And
you're talking
he's
about.
just going to town, like drinking it up, slurping it up. And you have to understand with Steven, who's our guitarist, he's he's very much an introvert. Like, he would absolutely during this podcast just be staring.
Really?
No words. It's just not him. And he doesn't dance. He doesn't really do anything out of character. And the next thing I know, I was drunk. And he's like, you want to dance? I'm like,
Oh,
wait,
shit.
wait, what? And he's like, yeah, let's go dance. And so
Oh,
I
no.
remember just him like grinding up on me from behind. And I remember thinking like, what is happening? You don't even dance.
doing?
I don't even know to this day what he was doing. It was probably hideous. It was probably the worst. And people were probably like, look at those 2 friggin' idiots on the dance
People-
floor.
Look at them.
That's what my thing was. I was like Mr. Entertainment when I drank. I was like, everybody's like, man, you should start drinking again. It's so much fun when you're, I wasn't a mean drunk at all. I was
Mhm.
like, try to make you laugh, and I would just be, just starting fake fights kind of a thing. Hey, you want to fight? You want to fight? But it was all my friends kind of a
Mhm.
thing that wouldn't touch me or whatever. There were a couple of times I almost got my ass kicked, but yeah, I had to kind of, a couple, 2-3 years ago, I'm like, I gotta chill out. So I went like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I fell off for like, it was, I think for my birthday, and then it was like, I think Super Bowl party or something like that. It was just those kind of things. But I think the last time I had a glass of wine was like Thanksgiving or something, nothing major.
I tell you, moderation is
occasions.
key.
Yeah, it is totally. So, hey, so for you guys, so I guess you don't have any shows booked yet.
We do.
You do. Let's talk. Let's talk about some
Let's
shows.
speak.
We play Dave Fest next Saturday.
Dave Fest.
Dave
Dave
Fest
Fest.
at Kick Butt
Kick
Coffee?
Butt
Is it
Coffee.
Kick Butt or Kick Butt
Kick Butt.
Cafe? Because online I think it was Cafe.
It was Kick Butt Coffee, I think, but I think it's Kick Butt
They might have
Cafe.
upgraded. They
I
might
think
have
it's
upgraded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Kick Butt Cafe.
What day are you
now.
playing?
Saturday. the
Awesome, 'cause I'll be
13th.
there.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm going to go. Actually, Dave is going to be up here this Saturday around 3 o'clock. We're going to do a podcast, probably a couple, 2-3 hours. It's going to be a long one. With Nathan and Dana from Ear Splitting Media. But yeah, I have a party to go to on that Friday, so I can't go. So I'm going to hit it up on Saturday. I'm going to get there early because I think Scorpio Rising is starting it, right, on Saturday?
I couldn't tell you.
I believe
Yeah.
so.
I don't know. I
They were
just
just
know
up
we
here.
go
Tell
on at
you.
8, but we'll be there early
Yeah.
as usual.
So we're going to go and we're going to hang out. It's going to be cool.
We haven't been there since it was.
I've never been
Teeny.
to that place.
Oh, really?
I've never been there.
We played there, I think,
Really cool place.
2013, and it was so. Even then, it was really nice. It was like it was kind of tiny, but it worked. But I hear it's like bigger now, and they took over like the place next to it and made it bigger.
From what I understand, they're going to do they have 2 stages.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So basically, where you're standing, you just got to turn around and watch the other stage.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
kinda,
It's going to be stage 1, stage
Yeah.
2. And
That's
it starts at
nice.
6. It is Scorpio Rising opening
Yeah.
at 6.
Great people. They were just up here in the last episode.
Oh.
Great people. Great band, too. Really good. I mean, I think that lineup is going to do really well. And so it's going to be all Dave Fest on Saturday. So we're not going to talk about Dave Fest tonight. No Dave Fest
He gets his
tonight.
No
Dave.
He's going to get
Daves.
his time.
Yeah, Dave, you're gonna listen in. Tonight's not your night.
Tonight's not your night, Dave.
You have your own time.
But anyways, anybody that's listening or watching or whatever, man, go check out. I guess they have a page for it, an event for it. Dave
I think
Fest.
So, yeah.
It's on January 12th and 13th over at Kick Butt Coffee or Kick Butt Cafe, one or the other. 2 days of just killer bands. Go check it out, man. Like I said, I'll be down there on Saturday checking everybody out. It'll be fun. There's like so many bands I haven't seen yet.
I
Yeah,
I
it's gonna
don't
be kind
know
of cool.
most of that lineup,
Yeah.
surprisingly. So
Yeah, it's gonna be
pretty
badass.
excited to see it.
So you guys got anything else?
I think on the 8th we have stuff coming up, but it's still like in the works. Like I know we actually are doing like a little tour to like El Paso.
Oh,
and
really?
Houston. Yeah, but that's like May. What's going on is we got a new guitarist.
Okay.
So we're working to getting him up to speed for Dave Fest, and we're trying to write new music because we haven't released anything in a while because we keep going to release music and then getting fucked over.
Little hitches in there
What?
somewhere.
Oh, everywhere we go. Autumn's Day should be just called like Autumn Gets Fucked Over. Like
Autumn takes it.
Autumn
yeah.
takes it. Okay, I know. I'm not going to go any further than that.
People give us like these, oh, we're going to make you sound great. We're going to give you this grandiose recording. And then we get it back and we're just, like listening in and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe like we paid for this. Why did you say your resume was so impressive? We heard your music before. It was so impressive. And then you give us this product that is not impressive. What happened?
Do you guys have a studio right now? I mean, like, you're recording somewhere that you're comfortable with? Or I know, honestly, there's probably 5 studios that are kick-ass killer studios right now that I could hook you guys up with.
Well, the cool thing is,
Seriously, killer studios.
I don't really know how it happened. I just one night got drunk at a
No.
bar. I know, right?
No.
I'm a huge fan of Lacey Sturm
Okay.
from Flyleaf, or former Flyleaf, and I followed her bass player Benjamin Hull on Instagram. And one night I saw he was trying to learn kanji, which is the Japanese calligraphy.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I messaged him, and I just on a whim was like, you know what? I'm drinking. I've got that liquid courage. I'm going to message him and be like, hey, if you ever want lessons or you ever want to learn Japanese, let me help you. I need a study buddy. And he was like, hey, let's do it. Nice to meet you. I'm
Awesome.
Ben. And we got to talking, and I was like, hey, Ben, like, you're doing recording. He has a studio called Dream Loud Studio. And he's in Pittsburgh. And I was like, you're working literally with big wigs. And we got to meet him. We got to go hang out on the bus with him. And it was actually kind of surreal because it was like Lacey Sturm is right there. And that's like my idol. And you're like, wow, I don't know what to say to you. So I'm just going to keep talking to my friend Ben. It was very surreal. I didn't even want to bother her. And Ben was such a cool guy that you couldn't help but be enveloped in conversation with him.
Really cool.
He's
guy.
so cool. And I was telling him, like, hey, our music kind of doesn't sound good. Could you give it a listen? And he was like, absolutely. And he listened in, and then all of a sudden came back with this huge list of what is wrong with it, even down to like, hey, the timing is incorrect. And we talked with the studio we were working with, and we're like, hey, this is what's up. It doesn't sound very good. And we just sort of never heard back. So I panicked, and Ben was like, yo, give it to me. Give it to me, and I will fix all 3 songs for you. And and he saved it. He literally took, I mean, it's, to me, when I listen back, it's a turd, but it's like a polished turd because of him. And he's actually, what we're doing is Trey, our new guitarist, he has like a little in-home studio. And so we're doing demos there. And then Ben is actually in Pittsburgh, and we send it to him, and he's telling us, hey, I think you should cut here, or I think you could do better here, or let me do this, let me do that. And then we actually...
So he's doing more of a producer kind of a role.
Yeah.
Yes, we absolutely said, help.
Take the wheel.
Take the wheel. Like, absolutely. Please. We've done things our way for 6 years. And if it's not working, why do you keep doing it? So we're taking his outside help, and he's actually listening in, saying, I think you could do such and such better here. And honestly, every change he's made, at first you're like, so like, why would you do that? You know, like, I don't know how I feel. And then you listen to it, and you like, we'll go to practice and we play it back, and we're like, this is awesome. Like, this is why you enlist help.
It's always good to have an outside ear on things because you're so used to hearing it one way. Yeah. And you're so set, and it's like your brain is so focused on the way it is, you can't like really branch out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely. And that was what was happening.
It's also nice to get the insight from somebody that has been at that level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is in a nationally touring band, a well-known band. So it's good to get that insight from somebody that knows, hey, look, that it's too long. I mean, it sounds good, but it's too long. You got to cut back if you expect to get it played. People are going to get bored. You have to change this. You have to do these things. This is what you would be asked of by a producer, by a record label. So these are the things that you need to do to basically take your songs to the next level and get out there.
Right.
And so it's nice to hear from somebody that's been there.
Oh, of course,
yeah.
And he's never been like, I hate to say like money grubbing. He's never been like, okay, well, you're going to pay me a ton of money and I'm going to tell you. He's literally been just helping as a friend from the get-go. And that's why I feel very comfortable and very safe with him, because it's not like hey, I'm just doing this for money. It's literally like you guys, when Lacey came through town on tour, we drove to Houston from Waco, which was 2.5 hour drive.
2.5, 3.
2.5 hour, 3. Yeah. And we went and picked him up so he could come to our place and like recharge and just spend the evening and spend the night and just, we ate a bunch of tacos and stuff. And then we drove him to Austin for his show, and we went to see them there. So it's a very comfortable setting of, he's not out to just kind of take our money and run. It's like he wants to see us do well. He calls us, his friends, and that feels really cool. And so he's really looking out for us. So we're going to work with him, and it's going to be a little bit of a process.
Oh, of course, everything is a process.
Yeah, since he's in Pittsburgh, but
that's the thing. Even with like this, it's a thing where you want to talk to someone about doing something. Well, I charge this per hour, and that per. It's like and you could just tell they're doing it for money. But then you have people coming out of the woodwork to help you out for free, and that's it's just from the heart. It's so much better, how much cooler it's going to be.
Yeah, that's definitely how. So, Topic of Your Tongue that we released. That was the song that was a turd. That when we listened, I listened back. I listened and I wanted to cry. I was like, "This is so bad."
It was funny because I was listening to. You have like 2 songs on iTunes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was listening to one of them. I couldn't tell you the name of it, but anyways, it reminded me. I'm a big Queensrÿche fan, older school Queensrÿche, and there's this album called Rage for Order, and it's sort of like an electro. It's
you're talking about Sheep.
Yeah,
that song. Yeah,
and I listened to the song a couple times, and I went and listened to that album. I haven't pulled that album out in like 10, 15 years. And I'm like, it just reminded me of that so much. You'll have to go to listen to that album. It's like really, if you know anything about like early Queensrÿche, it was like sort of like a progressive kind of a band. But they did this album. It was like their second or third record. And it was very like all electronic drums on it. And it was very just, not say overproduced, but a lot of new sounds on it,
Mm-hmm. Well, that was done by someone else entirely, and that he was very much in the metalcore scene, hardcore metalcore scene, where everything's like, you got that synth background. And did he even record real drums, or was that all programmed?
It was recorded drums, but it was all sampled.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah,
sampled. So it wasn't my drums anymore. I mean, all of them were changed too.
But like that scene was very, at the time, that was like what, 2013, 2014. Yeah. That scene that we were in at the time. That's how everything was like done. And
where we were at, the Central Texas area, the Killeen and Waco, there wasn't a huge scene for like heavy rock pushing towards metal. And it was interesting. You got a huge country scene. And
I was
then,
going to ask you what kind of scene was up there.
yeah, no, you've
I
got
had
a
no clue.
huge country scene, and then covers do really well. Cover bands do really well up there, and then metalcore. A lot of metalcore. There's really no like good place. Well, first off, there's nowhere to play in Waco. Really, there's not a lot of venues. Waco has some weird rules and laws that have been there for years that basically they've done what they can do, like shut places down. If there's any sort of riffraff whatsoever, no little venues stay open long enough to really build up the scene well there.
Wow. That's
And so it's really hard to get. I mean, for years, Waco was our hometown, and we'd play one show a year there. We'd play, 10 in Austin. We'd play 10 in Dallas, 5 in Houston, but we would play 1 in Waco because there was just nowhere to play. There were no shows.
Wow.
There's not much live music unless you're either country or, like I said, a lot of the bars will take cover bands there, but again, you're still background noise at the pool hall for whoever's
totally.
playing pool and stuff like that.
But there was such a scene for it, though. We did a show in Waco 2015, I think, and we alone sold like 70 plus tickets to a place that was like 30, 40 minutes away, but everyone in that area was like, oh my God, a show. Let's go.
Yeah.
And everybody turned out. I mean, everyone from that scene came out. And it was a show. I mean, it was so packed. I remember being so hot and stinky and sweaty. And
Those are the best shows we talking about.
yeah.
The
And
personal ones.
it was so cool because at the time, we constantly have like new guitarists. Story of our life. And
It's usually drummers.
thank God
I'm
it's
still
not.
here.
You're still there. You're the original drummer?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And
Drummers and bass players, man. I don't know what it is.
we've been through a couple of those.
A few of them.
Yeah. And we just like show up to the show and everyone's there and we were training up so he just knew the set list. He didn't know anything beyond like, I think we had a short set. It was like six or 7 songs.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we get done and everyone's like, one more song, one more, encore. And we're like, oh, fuck, we don't have another song. He doesn't know anything yet. And because it was literally like, oh, we got to train this guy up fast.
Right.
And so we were like, well, we don't have anything else. So what do you want to hear again? Like, let's make this.
Hey, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Playing it again.
And we did. And they sang along again.
They
They
didn't care.
did
They
it.
don't care as
So
long as-
it was such a weird little tiny room. They probably couldn't hear lyrics anyway. So it was probably like,
play one of the earlier songs for your set because there's some people that didn't get there till later, so they would miss that song.
Yeah, there you
so
go. Yeah.
Works out.
Yeah.
works out
think-
good.
I think we actually did do it that way.
Yeah, we played. I think we played the first song in the set to
Yeah,
close the
yeah.
set.
So how long after? So you guys live in Austin now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
how long after that did you move down here, or down there? Excuse me.
We
I'm
started
in the middle.
We started in Killeen in 2011 and then moved to Waco in 2012 of March. He was supposed to go back to school for baking. He's a chef.
Oh, awesome.
And he was supposed
Good
to
for
go
you,
get
man.
his degree.
That's great.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
supposed to go back for my culinary degree, and so that was why we headed back to Waco. But what ended up happening was between the band being so busy, because at the time it was every show that became available we took, and it was not always weekends or anything like that. It was Wednesdays, Mondays,
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
We calculated it up. We played like 100 and some odd shows in 2012.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
good
it
13.
was extremely busy, and so with the school that I was going to, the tech school up there in Waco, you could miss 3 classes and then you were dropped from that course.
Oh, wow.
And so I only lacked a couple classes, but it was one of those, we came back up there for that, but between work in order to, fund everything and then the school, I wouldn't have been able to balance it out because again, having to be in Houston on a Wednesday to play a show at 6:00, I'm not going to make class. And so there was
Yeah.
really no good way. So it was, as soon as it slows back down, maybe after this year, and then just never headed back, the band thing, and then
We got
me
stuck
going up
there.
in work and stuff like that, me jumping up the ranks in work. So it just never headed back. And so we were just
But-
in Waco.
But he's got a better position
Yeah.
at work now that pays him very well. So it like worked out really good in our favor because what he's making now is probably more than he'd make as like a chef elsewhere with a much better hours, and they're really really.
The flexibility is nice.
Yeah,
of,
and they
of the schedule and stuff.
And I think he told them like I'm in the band, and that's really serious. And they said they're really understanding about that too. So it was like
Very
a
cool.
super win.
Another one of the plus sides though of Waco is it is Central Texas. So
Yeah.
if you were driving to Austin, it was an hour and a half. If you were driving to Dallas, it was an hour and a half. You know, you were dead center in between the two places that we played more often than not was Austin and Dallas. So it was really easy to just do that hour and a half. Whereas, you know, you're here in Austin, the show in Dallas is 3 hours.
Right.
You know, this, that, and the other. So it was almost kind of nice for a good while to be right in the center for the driving portion of it.
Yeah, because at the time we were playing a ton of shows where that was really nice, being right in the middle. Now, if we were playing 100 plus shows, having to drive to Dallas all the time, I'd
That'd
probably
be crazy.
I'm gonna slap myself in the face.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, that's the thing about Austin, though. It's like, you know, it's hard to, I mean, there's so much stuff going on. I bring this is a topic that probably happens either every podcast or every other one, is there's so much stuff here now. There's so many bands and so many venues. And I know some venues it's hard for them to get bands to play because, yeah, I mean, there's so many clubs, but there's, how do I put this? You have your popular clubs, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to play those popular clubs. And you have other clubs that, I'm not saying they're not popular, but they're like, they're playing second fiddle to some stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's hard for them to get like decent bands, you know? And it's weird because, and I don't understand why it's like that, because there's so many bands. There's just so many bands in this town. And what we try to do, my girlfriend and myself, is when we go do a weekend, like a Friday night, it's like we have a schedule and there's like, honestly, a good 10 or 12 different, like really good events or good shows going on. So we'll take like 3 of them that are like sort of in the proximity of each other, you know, and we'll show a little love. We'll show like, oh, this band, we'll go for their set. We'll take off, go see this other band set, take off, go to this club, go see another band set, just to get around a little
Right.
bit, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad because it's like doing this, I'm in touch with so many people and so
Yeah.
many bands, so many musicians, and it's like, hey, you never come see my band. It's like, you know, you play way down in South Austin or whatever the case may be, but there's like so much going on.
Yeah.
I wish I could just like kind of could cut myself into like a 12 pieces and just send myself out, you know, and
Yeah.
it's hard. It's just so tough.
It was we were playing let's see, from April when I got here.
Yeah.
We played a show in Austin every month. And it's one of those, like, we did really well the first time when we moved here in April. We showed, I don't like to not bring people. I just think it doesn't look good.
Right.
That's that's the job of the musician these days, is to be quasi promoter at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time, whether you like it or not. That's the name of the game. So we brought a ton of people that first show, and so I was like, I have to continually bring that. The least I can do is, if they are at work all day, the least I can do while I'm sitting on my happy ass is tell people about the band and make sure that people show up to shows. And it actually gets kind of almost like it's like a super, super heavy weight, because every month you're having to play in Austin and having to get those same people out to these shows. And it's actually a lot harder than people realize when you're trying to do that every month to get people to shows. They're like, well, I just already saw you like last month, or we don't really have the time, the money, and you're constantly trying to like you said, you're almost like spreading yourself thin, trying to find new people to come to shows and getting people to come back out, because you might have seen them that night, but they were probably drunk and they don't remember you, and they're like, who's this crazy white girl?
You bring up a good point, because like I'm going to bring up Dave Pruitt, and he's perfect because, and I think one of my New Year's resolutions is to take a page out of his playbook, because what he does is, I'll call him, I'll say, hey man, what are you doing tonight? This band's playing over here. He goes, I've seen that 1,000 times. I want to go see something new that I haven't seen yet. You know, he'll take his camera out, his video camera, and he'll be out, you know, but he goes and sees all these new bands. So I think what I'm going to start doing is just finding those bands that I haven't seen yet and go show some love at some of their shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually, I mean, just scout out shows, because I mean, I'm always looking for cool bands to have on here, you know?
Yeah.
And that kind of a thing.
I did
So-
actually go to Come and Take It last month,
Mhm.
and I thought it was just going to be like a night I was just going to go relax, kind of,
Yeah.
listen to some bands and sit in the corner and just hang out with friends. And then it was so weird, because I show up and then everyone's like, oh, hey, Danny, hi, how are you? And I'm like, oh my God, who are these people? And they're like, oh my God, we haven't seen you. I'm so happy you're here. Like, welcome back. I haven't seen you since such and such date. And that was kind of cool, because it got to like reconnect with them when I wasn't working. And I call, shows work because I mean, it's a business. And, so just going to a show that had nothing to do with me and my band whatsoever was really nice because you get to reconnect with people on a really, I don't know, like a normal level. Like you get knocked down. Like you and I are in the same playing field. Like we are like, and I never think that I'm better than anybody else, but I'm just saying like at that particular time, if you show up to a show where I'm playing, I'm in such a, like what kind of like business mode?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Like if there's a line, I'm like, oh, great. Nice to meet you. Like I want to make sure we get everyone because that one person matters so much when you're.
And that's the weird thing with me too, because I get recognized when I go out now, which is kind of, it's really weird though.
It's so surreal.
And it's like, I don't know if it's a joke or people are playing with me or whatever, but I've been, hey, what's up? Love the podcast. And they want to talk podcast,
Yeah.
So I try to give them a couple minutes and, I mean, Dave gets the same thing with, Dave TV and stuff. Hey, speaking of, I got a message on Facebook. It says a big shout out to Autumn Stay from a friend in Scotland, just waiting for the 2018 one-date Scottish tour.
My Scotty hottie.
Was it Stephen Moffat?
Stephen Moffat.
So he's in Scotland?
Scotland.
He's watching.
He is, I met him through that whole OTEP thing that we dealt with. That was just nuts. I just remember making my video, and I just wanted to just address OTEP because I felt that was my idol and she pissed me off. So I felt like I'm going to address her in the best way I could. That was just insane because I got such an influx of friend requests, influx of messages. Like I was like refreshing my phone every 2 minutes and I'd have 20 new messages.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. Super stressful. I was like, I can't open my phone. I'm so stressed. It was like scary. And,
you got to be scared when you open it up and there's nothing there.
Oh, right.
That's my world.
But one of the
hey,
people
messages?
Right. One of the people that stuck around and I talk to her all the time is Stephen Moffat. He's in Scotland. He actually drives buses for big bands. And he keeps saying he's going to come to America one day and he's going to drive our bus around. And I'm like, well, we got a crappy van. So if you want to drive that, and I tell him he can drive the van, but he has to like yell at us in like Scottish, like with a Scottish accent. Like that's
really cool.
Like that's what I want is you have to, I don't even care if we're doing nothing. I just want you to yell at me in a Scottish accent. And he actually just bought me today Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It's like literally
Is it a movie?
It's Harry Potter,
Yeah.
It's a book, but it's like a Scottish translation. So I can't understand.
Oh, it's sort of like reading The Hobbit.
Yeah, except it's like not in Gaelic, but it's like in how like Scottish people. Have you ever seen Brave, the movie Brave, the Disney movie?
I probably have.
There's like one character in Brave where you can't understand a word he's saying, and apparently that's how it is with Scottish people. Is you can't understand what they're talking, and so like the joke with him has been what's under his kilt.
Oh, jeez.
Number one, and number two,
Scottish Thunder.
Yeah.
What's hidden under there?
You ever heard of those guys?
No.
There's a band in town they're called Scottish Thunder.
Here in town, right? Like,
yeah, in Austin. Yeah, they're like a cover band, but they wear kilts and all that kind of stuff. Great people, great band too.
So that's someone I would definitely go to check out.
Oh hell yeah!
Like I don't know what's under the kilt.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to know.
Well,
Scottish Thunder. That's what's under the kilt.
Now that's what I'm going to tell him. But Steven is he's always sharing, always talking, always like super cool fan that came from the whole OTEP fiasco.
Beautiful.
Yeah, super cool.
So he says, tell him about the challenge you have upcoming. So what's the challenge?
Is it the book?
I don't know.
What is the challenge?
The challenge is reading that book. It's like a translation, but it's like not from another language. It's just translating it from like how like hearing how Scottish people talk.
Do people read books still? I don't even know.
I'm about to try.
I tell myself all the time that I'm gonna do it, and then I don't do it.
It's because he's addicted to video games.
Things.
You know what I don't understand is like how are bookstores still surviving? Are they?
I think so. Barnes and Noble looked bumping this Christmas holiday every time I drove by it.
Man, because everything's like, everyone's like, was it
Kindles and stuff like
Kindles.
that. That's cut into it a lot.
Yeah, Tyndall and Tyndall.
Tyndalls.
Tinder.
It's those Tyndalls.
Those Tyndalls.
I mean, I myself, I've got a tablet that I have books on that I plan to read.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a good
haven't
1,000
read a
that I
book in a long
plan.
time.
I haven't. But there's a good about 1,000 on there that I plan to read at some
1,000
point.
books.
He's not going to read it.
There was an
He's
app
not gonna
when I
read
got
ever.
it that said it was called 10,000 free books, and literally the way it worked was it was free because what people would do is they would load files in there of basically transcribed the books. So they would type the books into there themselves, and you'd have misspelled words here and there, but it was free because it wasn't the copy of the book. And so they had all these books, Harry Potter, all those. And so I've got all these books that I've always wanted to read, and then I don't.
Do you even know where it is?
Yeah, I don't.
No, you do.
It's somewhere maybe.
I think what I'm going to start doing is get the audio books.
Hey, those are doing really well.
They
So
really
I just
it's
saw
like a podcast of a book. Sort of.
Yeah. I just saw like a audiobook for like Harry Potter on Instagram. Like
Is Harry Potter reading it, or
I think it's
That
like
would be
Harry
really
Potter
cool.
series. I'm
That's
pretty
a-
sure
that,
Dameron.
that should be my new business. I'll read your book.
Yeah, read it on a podcast.
Hey, yo, no, volume 1. Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Here we go.
that could
Joey-
be really good for you.
Joey said to himself, "Hey, what am I doing here today? I don't know. I'm over here now."
You
The end.
could. This could be like a really
That'd
good
be
avenue
funny.
for you.
Wouldn't it be hilarious?
The book he got me.
You could get paid for that.
It's called Harry Potter.
Bobby reads Shakespeare.
Yeah, and the Philosopher's Stain, and it's like making fun. Like it says, Mr. and Mrs. Dursley, O number of flower, privet loan, were proud to say that they were gay normal, think ye offy muckle. They were lest folky with jallos wide be tigled up we on ye unca or fairlay, because they just when they hey okay
I
this
don't know
is
what that. What do you?
I
I don't know
can't-
what you're
what's
saying.
I have
going
no
on.
idea what
I
I'm
don't know what's going
saying.
on.
I think that's the challenge because I told him I was like, if he was like, "Do you want this book?" And I was like, "Duh, absolutely." I love all things like Scotland, and he was like, "All right, well, I just bought it for you, and I bought myself one." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna read."
How many times have you seen Braveheart?
I just watched it. Well,
Did you really?
yeah, when we lived
Nice.
together when he was March. I mean, that's been a while, but
It's a great movie.
I'm sitting there like listening to the Braveheart theme song. It comes on. I'm like, "Oh God, don't cry."
Don't cry.
And
good
the
movie. It
music
was a
gets me for
good movie.
everything. And
It was a
You
good
like
movie.
it?
I know. I said it
That
was
was
a
fucking
good
wonderful. I
movie.
love
that
It
shit.
was a great
he
movie.
didn't like it. Not surprised.
Mel Gibson really
It was
doesn't.
a good movie.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Can't- He's one of the actors we can't speak about nowadays, isn't he?
Why?
Mel Gibson.
Because
He's a dick.
he's a dick. That's what I was gonna say. Wasn't he?
Oh, I
wasn't
don't
he like
know.
anti-Semitic or
There's
something
so-
like that?
There's so many now that we have to like.
And that's nuts, man. It's like it's really weird because I was thinking about the other day. I'm at work and I'm like going, I really started this podcast because I had a lot to say, and all the stuff that I want to say I can't now because I'm afraid of someone getting pissed off or someone, you know what I mean? And I think in this new year I'm gonna like just not say go balls to the wall with it, but I'm just gonna let out a little bit at a time, and I'm
Test the waters.
I'm not because there's certain stuff in my language when I grew up, words that I say all the time now. Still,
Retarded.
that's the first one.
I was told not to say that.
That was
in-
the first one.
can't
Yes,
say it
I was told
anymore.
not to say that on a we had done like a podcast like, hey, don't say that word. And I was like, oh,
I've
you're
said
right.
it
I
on here.
shouldn't. Right. And then I have a friend, Paul, and he's from New England. And he always like what he says that's retarded, like with
Yeah,
the
but
little
you don't
accent.
mean it like despite the people with
Right.
disabilities. That's not the reason. I grew up with all that stuff. So, and I have a friend whose girlfriend, her son, is handicapped or whatever,
Mhm.
and every time I say it, I think about him, and it's like, I'm not, and it's not like I'm trying to
You're not trying to be offensive.
disrespect anybody, but it just comes out. When you're talking, like, I have like a couple people from like where I grew up, and I say, man, stop being retarded. You know what I mean? It's just like, but it's not like I'm you know what I mean? But people get offended by it, and it's like, okay, I got to think of a different word for that. And
Well, and you're in the South, and that's not really a word we
It's not?
use. I mean, we did, but I feel like that was definitely a staple up north.
yeah,
Right?
Well, another one of the things. So, and this is something that I try not to say now because it became a big deal. For us down here, it was probably more, oh, that's gay.
Yeah, that's good.
oh yeah,
That's
I say that all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
that
one of
was
those
one.
things that now you have to be careful with saying it
I know.
and stuff like that, and you don't mean it. I think we're just so desensitized to some words like that we're so used to it that it's just everyday language.
What
it
I
just
tell
comes
people
out.
is like, if you look, I love the English language, and if you look at the way words form and the way words morph, like gay didn't used to mean what it means today. Gay
Yeah.
meant things are gay, things are merry, things are
You're
happy.
Yeah,
And then
that's
it
what means,
morphed into that was the word is stable for someone who is homosexual. And now it's morphed into a word that means that's dumb or that's silly.
Dumb, that's
or,
stupid.
You know,
That's retarded.
Yeah.
You know,
I call my friend like fag all the time. What's up, fag? You know, but now it's like, oh, you can't say fag.
Right.
You know, we had this podcast a couple, man, I'm gonna say maybe a month ago. The person said faggot on it a lot.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, but it's a long story why it was like that. It was a guy playing a character.
Oh.
And he came on here, and that was his character, was to use that kind of language. I just let it go because whatever. But then I had one person say, you know, I had to tune out because I don't like the word faggot. And it's like, okay, well, I'm sorry. But no matter what you do, no matter what you say, even if you don't say anything, you're going to offend somebody.
Yeah.
It's just no one's going to be happy.
I actually dealt with that the other day. So he can tell you he's been here since day one when I used to be this little round, pudgy little thing.
Round, pudgy little thing.
Yeah, I was. And I was just this derpy girl fronting a band. And
I saw some pictures on that.
Yeah. And I definitely
I remember reading something where I don't mean to interrupt, but something about someone was like, look at something. The little pudgy girl singing with the band on stage or something. And you had one. You lost some weight on one side and or something like that.
That post
before and after, I guess.
Yes, that post caused quite the controversy because he can also tell you for the longest time, if someone would talk, we got so many bad name. Like people didn't like us because we weren't metalcore and because I was a female. Literally, people would tell us, "Oh, well, you got on stage and I walked out because I expected y'all to suck." And then I heard you singing and I just poked my head in and saw you throwing down. So then I came in and so I was disregarded straight up just because I was a female.
Right.
We dealt with that a lot. And guys would literally come up and just touch me in inappropriate manners. And at the time, our band manager was like, if you deny them, if you just let them do whatever, like if you like stop them, they won't want to see your band because you have to be
because you're a prude.
Because I'm a prude. And so guys would just touch me. I mean, if they went to touch anything inappropriate, I wouldn't slap them, but I don't like to be touched. So people would like come up and hug me, get in my face. And I just remember at one point seeing Steven, our guitarist, his hands were clenching.
Oh, yeah.
Because this guy was literally just rubbing up on me. And I just had to let it, because at the time our manager was saying, you should just let that slide. So for the longest time, I didn't say anything. If someone hated our band, we were called Nickelback with a vagina.
That's my favorite though.
Yeah.
Nickelback with a vagina. That's inventive.
We were called Flyleaf Cover Band. We called all these really bad names just because of how and who I was, and I was this derpy girl. So now those same people are now messaging me, hitting up my DMs, saying, "Damn, girl, you look good." And I do have a very clear message for them. Fuck yourself.
Oh, wait now.
Go fuck yourself.
Wow.
And apparently, everyone on the internet, not everyone, just a few think that I should be the better person and not apparently telling them to go fuck themselves as being like a bully, as I was so eloquently called.
You know.
And I was like, no, a bully would be like standing up for yourself. It took years. It's 6-7 years in the making of being able to say, you know what, this isn't okay. I am absolutely beautiful. I am absolutely amazing. My band is awesome. Sucks to suck that your band's shit and you guys aren't around and you guys didn't make it, but go fuck yourself because I worked hard to get here and I will absolutely take a stand and I will absolutely use my voice now to say, you know what, there are really crappy people and you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing is as you get older, I'm at the point now, being the age that I am, I just don't even listen to anybody anymore. Because I know that, you know, this podcast, I'm just speaking from what I do. This podcast isn't for everybody. There's people that don't like it. There's people that are offended. There's people, they're bored with it or whatever the case may be. And I do it for myself and I do it for the people around. We have a good time doing it. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people, I hate that fucking band. It's like, well, if you don't like them, don't listen to them or don't go watch them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, so I don't get it. Why are you wasting your time on shit that you don't like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's like when I hear a bad comment, and I really don't get many of them, but when I do get negative responses, they're kind of trolling me or whatever. I don't even bother with it, man. You know, I don't acknowledge it.
No.
Because when you acknowledge it, like, I'm not saying you're doing the wrong thing. when you acknowledge it, it just gives them fucking more gasoline in their tank to fucking fuck with you some more, and especially being a female,
It's one of those like, it feels really good. As my friend Rachel called it, to flex. Because for the longest time, people literally did just disregard us because we were like, one person told me they were like, oh, they're going to last 6 months. And
how do you think this was?
Yeah.
10 episodes, you're done.
Yeah. And so you get that a lot, and
you.
it absolutely feels good. I mean, I guess I could take the high road and do what I've done always, which was say nothing. But, every once in a while, it feels really good to tell those same people, go fuck yourself. It feels really good. It's really freeing. It's empowering. And I think people expect you to be this golden goose 24/7. And I am absolutely human. And after holding my tongue for years and years and years, I'm sorry, but I'm going to call you out and call a spade a spade. And, you probably go fuck yourself. Like, it feels really good. Not going to lie.
I have this shirt that it's a baseball shirt. It's got the baseball numbers, and it has 2 big zeros on it. Then it says "fucks given" on the top of it.
Exactly.
And my name on the back. And everybody, and you'll see on my page, people be posting shit about zero fucks given, because I don't give a fuck. I just don't care anymore. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to do what I do. You do what you do. I respect what you do. I might think what you're doing is a waste of time, and I just whatever. But that's your life. Live your life the way you want to live it. If you want to troll me and waste your time trolling me, knock yourself out. Go eat a big bowl of dicks, because I don't give a shit. I really don't care. I'm honestly just don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's me. I used to really, and everybody does. Everybody goes through that phase in their life where they care about, what people say about them, and oh my God, I hope this person likes me, and I hope that person doesn't talk bad about me. I'm at the point now. You know what? If it gives you joy to talk bad about me behind my back, or talk bad about my podcast, or talk bad about my friend's band, you know what?
Have fun.
Have fun. Nothing I could do about it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Go eat a big bowl of dicks. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Get a big old spoon, sop up a big
Yeah.
spoonful of big old dicks, and just put it in your mouth, start chewing. That's all I got to tell you.
Big,
With that,
big old bag of dicks.
Big old spoon of dicks.
Can't you send? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to speak some truth real quick.
oh shit. Go ahead. That's what we want.
Me and Trey, we're going to send you a bag of dicks to your work. Sorry, Trey. Calling
Real
you
dicks?
out. No, you can send a bag
the
of gummy
gummy
dicks.
dicks? The gummy dicks?
I was really mad at him, and I was like, I'm so
I think
mad. I
actually-
don't know how to channel my anger. He was like, we could send him a bag of dicks. I was like,
I think actually Dave Pruitt actually eats those all the time. He has a little bag of gummy dicks. I was seeing him
Gummy
in
dicks?
pictures eating gummy
does
dicks.
it give him like dick power?
Yeah, right before Dave TV eats some gummy dicks. He's on here right now. That's what I'm fucking with.
Hi, Dave. Where you
So-
at, Dave?
Where you at, Dave?
Does he have gummy dicks?
Oh, he's got big ones.
Big bag of big gummy dicks.
We
Big-
also wanted to glitter bomb you.
Glitter bottle.
Oh, glitter bomb.
Yeah, I was like, Trey,
That
find
glitter,
out.
that fucking glitter don't go away.
I know. So
Fuck that.
what got me the idea is I
It's the
worked at
worst.
Red Lobster, and someone sent a glitter bomb to my manager as he's eating, because you can eat at Red Lobster. It
So how does that work? You open up and it just goes poof.
It's like cylinder, right? And it says to such and such, and it looks like straight up regular packaging. You're like, what the fuck did I order? You open it literally goes poof, and like glitter just. And I remember looking over, and he's just furious, staring down. His food's covered in glitter. His work for like Red Lobster and the shrimp was starting, so he had all these pages he had to go through and double check or whatever, and everything's covered in glitter, and he's just, you could just see
pissed off.
the pissed off. And
Oh,
so
hell yeah.
Trey and I were like, all right, bag of dicks and a glitter bomb, have to do it. Trey, where were you? You failed. Trey failed.
I'll tell you what, though, the bad thing about glitter, that shit does not go away. It just will never go away. I remember I had a car, and I went on a date with a girl. This is, I'm going to say 1998, right? And she had glitter on. And when I sold that car 10 years later, I was still finding glitter in the car. And it was like, what?
For Halloween, I put glitter everywhere. I tried to be a unicorn, and glitter and unicorns go together. And we're still, as I clean up the bathroom, finding glitter everywhere.
It's just one of those things. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, I guess. I don't know.
It's true.
Glitter
There's just
just
so
doesn't
much
go
of
away.
it.
It's
And
like
it
rabbits.
stays.
It just keeps reproducing, I guess. I don't know.
You're
The
not
glitter's
wrong.
having
Little
sex and
glitter
reproducing.
babies, little glitter babies.
babies.
Yeah. You're
There
not
you go.
wrong,
That's
though.
the name of a band, Glitter Babies. There you
Glitter
go.
babies. It's better than
I'd see it. I could
Would you?
see that happen.
I dig it.
I
Would
could,
you?
yeah.
You'd have to like only wear glitter though. I feel like you'd have to wear some glitter.
At
You gotta have a
that-
gimmick,
at that
though.
Rate,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
there
gotta
would
be
have to be
gimmicky.
some sort of gimmick.
Glitter suit or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Ooh.
There you go.
You'd never lose the glitter at that point. Like, you'd see glitter everywhere if you had a full, glitter
I
suit.
don't know.
I think you should do it.
I feel like you would need protective eyewear at that point because glitter can really mess up the eyes. I feel like
think
you
it would, yeah.
If you always had glitter on, I feel like you'd have to have some sort of something to cover them.
I don't know. I put glitter on my eyes all the time. I'm pretty okay.
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Okay. Well, this has been Makeup by Zach.
Yeah.
Makeup. Speaking
Makeup by Zach.
Yes.
We had to get into this.
Yes.
I got to give it to you. I don't watch the videos because I know it's makeup videos,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I go on Facebook all the time, and this is the one I see popping up on my feed. With
Can't help it.
So are they makeup tips? Is that what the deal is? or-
What it is so even like a year ago, I looked really derpy with makeup, and
derpy.
yeah, super derpy. Derpy.
Derpy, janky.
I got a janky and derpy. Those are my two new words.
Janky
Yeah,
and a derpy.
type them
Stop
down.
being
write 'em down.
janky.
And
That's awesome. I love that.
I don't know, like, I joined a makeup company because I had no car. I wasn't homeless. I lived with my parents, and I had no way of working. I didn't want to be like, Mom and Dad, I'm 28 years old, drive me to and from work, even though it's going to be like forever far away. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And our band manager, Angel, she sells Unique. And I was super timid and skeptical to join because the girls I had seen do it in the past, they were just so about with their makeup. And I was like, you know what? I need money. And it's like $99 to join. There's like no monthly fees, no nothing. So I was like, why not? I have literally nothing to lose. I'm already at rock bottom. Let's
Right.
give it a fucking shot. So I'm a social media whore anyway. So I was like, this has to work in my favor, has to. And so I just started going live and learning as I went live. Like, I say they're makeup tips, but I'm literally learning as I'm doing it.
There you go.
So I just go live and show girls what I know. Guys too. Guys are actually more inquisitive than you think. They're like, how do you keep your skin clear? I need help with clear skin. And he walked into a practice one day and was like, what do I do for dry skin?
Well, I asked how many times I'm supposed to wash my face in a day because I don't understand.
Yeah, so I feel
It's
like
tough, yeah.
yeah.
I had super bad skin up until I'll flare ups every now and then, but I'll tell you, my 40s were horrible.
It's all like genetics, man.
I don't know. It's I guess it is in a weird way, but I just couldn't keep it together.
Were you stressed in your 40s? Stress, I hear stress brings on acne like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's really weird with my face is because I have to, like right now, the weather's just killing me.
It looks so good though. Like,
Thank you.
For everybody who doesn't see his face right now, it looks very, very clear.
But, I have like baby skin. It's just super fragile and stuff. And I found that the thing that I use for conditioning, but for moisturizing is aloe.
Yeah,
the creamy aloe, you know. And I've used that for the past like 10 years. Anything else, just I put it on. Half hour later, I'm breaking out like a pepperoni pizza. It's crazy.
You'd have to check the ingredients because if you have a specific skin type,
Mm-hmm.
like if you have oily skin, and then you take an oily-based moisturizer, and it's just going to sit there and clog your pores, so you got to use something that's going to cancel it out.
So my girlfriend now, she's got this stuff. I started using about maybe a week ago, but it's like this coconut stuff. It's like
Coconut oil?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll just a little bit, but then you got to kind of, I'll say wipe it off.
Oh,
but,
yeah, no,
because
absolutely.
it's greasy.
I got my tattoo finished, and I didn't have any A&D. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, oh my God, what am I going to do without A&D? And I started panicking. My mom was like, just put some coconut oil on it. I was like, you're
Well, this stuff, it's like, it looks like snow.
yeah.
Yeah, but you kind of.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
thought she was totally bullshitting. So, of course, me getting on the internet, going to Google, being like, can't even use coconut
We
oil
have the
in a
answers
tattoo.
at our hands nowadays.
Yeah. And so everyone
kidding,
online
huh?
was like, absolutely go for it. And I literally was like, if this ruins my tattoo, I'm gonna be furious. Because it's a beautiful piece. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, like, if this ruins my tattoo, I'm going to fucking rage quit and I'm going to be really mad. But then it made it actually, like, beautiful. It came out wonderful. There was no weird scabbing period. It was amazing. So coconut oil is awesome for tattoo healing.
Yeah.
For the whole process, even the lotion, everything. Was
Yeah,
awesome.
so I started using it maybe, I'm going to say like maybe a week ago.
Mm.
I'm going to keep doing it for a little bit, see how it works.
Yeah.
My thing's under here. That's where I have like all my ages showing under my eyes. But the rest of it's,
If
pretty good
you
stuff.
are curious, we do sell
Oh,
a.
wait now.
No, for real, because I have the same thing too. Like my under eye bags are really purple and puffy, and
Yeah.
I'm starting to actually get like the crow's feet. right?
Yeah, I got
Right?
I got a little bit that going on.
I'm
But
starting
I
to
mean,
get
for
it.
50, I guess I'm
Like-
hanging in there all right.
You kind of have it too, like, and he's got a wrinkle on his forehead, and this stuff, like, you put it,
It
on
happens.
there, yeah.
It's my hat. My hat's
It's
pushing
my
down.
hat.
But I want to be beautiful forever, so
Ah.
so I put like a beauty serum on it, and it like helps to soften wrinkles and reduces the puffiness, and like tested it on my dad, who's like 61 years old, 64.
It's funny because
Works great.
my girlfriend's a year older than I am,
Mhm.
and she's gorgeous. I mean, if you ever seen like my profile picture, you see her, it's like, and everybody goes, man, and she's a year older than I am, and people are like, I can't believe she's 50, going on 51, because she doesn't look anywhere close to it. She's got perfect skin, perfect teeth. I mean, she's just,
Well, I'm shocked by you that you said you're 50. I was like, wait,
well,
No.
the 2.5, well,
No way.
14th, so 49.
she's 49 years.
Look
Yeah.
at Dave Pruitt. He says, I prefer Bobby Sheeran Jello shot ball sacks. So I don't know
Oh.
where you buy those, Dave, but I need
I'm
need-
thinking about it.
Do we take his ball sack, Dave,
don't know.
and do we
actually
shave
I
off
think
the
Dave-
crust,
I
put it
think
into a
Dave-
Jello?
I think Dave wants me to what do you call that? Tea bag.
Sounds like Dave has
Teabag
some
a
secret.
mold. Teabag a mold so he can mold my ball sack and make Jello shots out of it. I
Can-
don't know, Dave.
That actually might.
Love you, brother.
You might be onto something.
I know.
Can you? That's something that
Gotta
I
think
feel
of-
like they would sell at Spencer's, like, like tea bag ice.
Did you
Kind of
see?
like Clone a Willy.
Yeah.
Did you
but-
see that thing that they did? I don't, and this is going to be a little bit risque, but they made a chocolate mold. Have you seen these? I know you have. It's been on the
I used
internet.
to work there, so at Spencer's.
No,
Oh,
no,
wait.
no. This is like very. It's like they mold like your
Your dick.
like
Your
butthole,
balls. Oh.
and they
oh,
make like.
yeah, the
You know-
booty hole. Yeah,
you
the
know what
booty
I'm
hole
talking-
chocolates.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
I'm like going, how does this work? And how do you? I mean,
Just spread them and put
Who-
chocolate on there, and
no, but they make a mold.
no, for real, and they look like a booty hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like you can actually have your own booty hole done, and
Can you imagine?
I mean, what?
I feel like good
I'm
luck
I'm
finding the booty hole
perplexed.
in the hair. Guys are really
I
hairy.
don't know.
I'm perplexed. I'm trying to.
In fact, I think I can find it right
You could
now.
probably find
I'll
it on there, man. It was.
Let's type
I
in
saw
booty
it,
hole.
and it was like it's like for Christmas or for Valentine's Day is a big one. Give your significant other a mold of your booty hole in chocolate.
I
Eat
feel
my
like
chocolate assholes.
the
Pretty much.
statement eating cake to a whole new. You can.
I saw it. I was like, are you kidding me?
Here it is. You can actually give your Valentine a chocolate mold of your butthole. Is the title? Oh my God! It looks just like a butt.
See, podcast land. This is what you're learning tonight.
Hey, it says that's what I call a good ass gift.
Hey, so do you remember you might Limp Bizkit,
Oh yeah.
the album Chocolate Starfish? And
Yes.
weenie flavored water. Yeah, chocolate starfish. There you go.
Hot dog flavored water.
And hot dog flavored water. Chocolate starfish is though. You could
That's
the
what it was.
pleasant way of putting it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The old chocolate
Whatever
starfish.
happened to old Limp Bizkit?
He is a talent seeker pretty much now.
Who,
so
Fred is?
yeah. So he goes out pretty much and discovers people and goes, "Hey, I can get you there. I work for a label, stuff like that." He doesn't perform anymore.
What?
It's
I used to love that band too.
See, I enjoyed him. A lot of people did not.
I liked
Now,
them. I really did.
now
I still
his-
I still listen to them.
His cover Behind Blue Eyes tears me up inside a little bit.
Does it really?
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard it. It was
I liked
I've
it.
heard all their stuff.
That section where it does the
that's the part I don't like.
discover.
LIMP.
P.
Say
Discover.
it. Discover.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm
He just
a
like in the
huge fan
middle of
The Who.
Behind Blue Eyes stops to.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, yeah.
it's
to-
I know I've heard it before. I haven't heard it recently. But I remember like
I
when
liked it.
was it Significant Other came out? Was that the album
yeah.
with the Nookie and all that stuff on it?
Yeah.
Man, I dug that record. I was
I
really
enjoyed it.
yeah. I thought it was a great record. And then people it kind of came and went pretty quick. And then they did the the chocolate starfish thing. And then I think after that they just kind of dropped off. Then it was like
Their album
Was it
after that
Gold-
was the one that he
Golden
did with
Cobra or
Snoop
something like
Dogg.
that, or-
the album after that was the one I think he had a song with Snoop Dogg called Red Light Green Light.
yeah. But he did a bunch of guest
Yeah,
spots everywhere. But man, I don't know whatever happened to him. I really like that band.
that was in the days of
I'm
Family
gonna get flack.
Values
I'm
tour.
gonna get flack for it too, but I don't give a shit.
That
you
was
know?
the days when Family Values tour was just absolutely huge. Korn and Limp Bizkit and all them playing and stuff
Well,
like that.
At that time. It was for me. It was I was into that really that rap rock shit.
Yeah.
Like Kid Rock was big. Limp Bizkit. think those are like the only two from that genre that I listen to, and I still listen to Kid Rock. I mean, I don't know where he's going these days. He's all over
That's
the
hard
place.
telling, but he's
And
still around.
Well, yeah, but I followed him way before Devil Without a Cause. I mean, there was like grit sandwiches for breakfast, like all that old hip hop stuff, which they never re-released that stuff when he got that big deal with Atlantic. But now he's like, he was doing the country thing, and now the new record is like, it's a little mixture of everything. It's got country, it's got rock, it's got hip hop on it. But I'll tell you, man, you can't knock the guy.
No, I mean,
he's still doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like if you can make it like that far and then keep it going, and like Ozzy, like he's still touring, and everyone's saying why, but why not? Like if you can still do it.
He's got one more tour in him. That's it.
But I was reading that it was supposed to go on for like 3 years.
Probably 2.
Yeah. His TV show Detoured is hilarious. Have you seen
with the History Channel thing? There's one show he's doing with his son Jack.
Yeah. Oh, it's Detoured.
I haven't seen it.
Hilarious.
Well, he did an episode in Austin, I think.
He came to, I think it was San Antonio. He went to see a mariachi band, Black Sabbath mariachi band.
Yeah, it was Brown Sabbath.
Yeah.
I saw the video for it.
Amazing. They were great. And Ozzy straight up was like, can you play another? I'm not bullshitting you. You guys are great. If I didn't like it, I'd fucking walk out.
Right.
He was like, but I loved it, so please do me another.
Yeah, I watched the video on Facebook. I didn't watch the episode on TV.
Do you care if a bunch of people are messaging me? And do you care if I live stream what's happening?
Go ahead, you can do what you want.
Hey, because I got you tagged. But
You
I didn't want to
do?
do it without your permission. Hey.
People ask permission these days? No, I'm looking.
We were just talking about Black Sabbath. And so I don't know if you
Fucking
ever
love
saw.
Black
I don't know
Sabbath.
if you ever saw the cover band called Mac Sabbath.
Oh, the McDonald characters. Yeah, they're great.
Oh, it was so good.
You know, I always wonder what about those guys is.
How they didn't get sued first.
Well,
off.
not even that. Not so much that. The thing about how do they play in those costumes? Because one of them's like the Grimace, and one of them is. But they have these big old things on. And if you watch them, they're playing guitar, but they're very kind of like stuck in that costume.
You don't move much. That's so. 2 years ago, we do every year we have a show right around Halloween, and we play and we dress up and stuff. And 2 years ago was when the inflatable T-Rex costumes were huge.
Oh, I got.
And I got
a picture with one of those.
I've wanted to play the drums with one on so bad, but I just know that the reach doesn't allow for much. And I was like, it was like this golden idea. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the costume. And I'm gonna do it. And I just every time I looked at it, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna waste my money buying a $100 costume that I'm not gonna be able to play in.
Yeah.
Because
was it $100?
Yeah, well, it's dropped. It used to be like $150. It was a lot more expensive, and now it's dropped down to like $100.
That's one of my favorite pictures. I was over at Hanover's, and this guy came in to do. It was somebody's birthday, and he had a Godzilla costume on, and I got the picture with the Godzilla guy and the Godzilla. It's like one of my favorite pictures. My girlfriend took it. It's funny. It was my profile pic on my Facebook page forever.
Hey.
It's the best picture ever. Oh, it's so cool.
Did you enjoy moving in it?
No, I wasn't in it. Somebody else was in it.
I
No, it was a birthday party, but some guy came in and jumped on stage in his Godzilla costume. So he was taking. It wasn't Halloween. It was just like a normal night.
And
some guy just walked in and jumped on stage in a Godzilla outfit.
That's the kind of guy
the blow
you
up
want at parties.
Thing. Yeah. And it wasn't Halloween. It wasn't even close to Halloween. And so when he got off stage, he was taking pictures, and I said, I got to get my picture with this guy.
Got to do it.
That's the guy, he totally won at parties.
It's one of my favorite pictures. I'll show it to you later. It's awesome.
I just recently went to Ren Fair and in October, and we were at, there's this really good group called Drums and Drones, right?
Drones and Drums?
Drums and Drums, Drums and Drums.
Them.
They were playing their really cool Scottish music, really awesome. But they were playing, and 2 people in inflatable T-Rex costumes jumped on stage and were dancing to it and dancing around. And people were throwing money at them.
At the T-Rexes?
At the T-Rexes, and they gave all the money to Drums and Drones. But they were just dancing around, like grinding and stuff on the stage, and the drummers were sitting there interacting with it. It was really fun to see. But yeah, no, those costumes got really big.
I'll tell you, man, my favorite thing, and this is going to sound mean, when those people with the big blow-up costumes, because it's kind of awkward to walk in where they hit somebody and they fall over and they can't get back up.
You just can't get up.
I mean,
I love that shit.
I don't think you could even be mad about that one. I feel like if that happened to me, I would still laugh if I couldn't get back up.
At all sorts of
Cade,
I laugh at all sorts of mean shit.
the video of Cade. So we were playing at what is that? What was that venue? It was right off of 35. What was the venue?
Spinners.
Oh, I know where Spinners is.
Yeah.
We had a show at Spinners. We're playing. We're in first or second song, and our guitarist at the time, Cade, was playing, and he was stepping backwards, and he trips over something and falls directly in between the drum riser on his back and in between his cab, and he couldn't get up.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, no.
He was
Golden.
right in the
It
middle
was
of a
gold.
spot where it was pretty much just him playing the guitar line.
That's
so
crazy.
he's having to play, and he's rolling around, and there's still a video where he's kicking in the
You
air
see
and
this.
flailing.
You see hands and you see legs just kicking and
and
flapping because he can't get up.
But he's just rolling around trying to get up.
That's funny.
And no one, only me and Ryan
No,
saw
Steven
him.
saw it too. You see everyone but me because, I'm fronting, so I don't really
Right,
see
right.
what's behind me. You see everyone, like, our bass player looks over and goes back to playing, just scoffs, laughs, goes back to playing.
Hey, the show must go on.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching him. I'm just watching, because there's nothing I can do. I'm the drums, so
Right.
I mean, I didn't have any options. So I'm just watching him flail on the ground. Took him it was a good 30, 45 seconds. He was on the ground.
Yeah, he was on the
before
ground for a
got
while,
up.
and
Yeah,
then
it was-
I don't even remember how he got up.
it
Either way,
finally
it was
hit a point
golden.
where he
Someone
wasn't
had it.
playing,
That's
but
funny.
Yeah, someone filmed it, and they were like, best part of the evening. And I had no idea. So I'm watching, and then I see him fall over and flail. I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. And Steven turns around and he's like, you didn't see that? I'm like, what point did it look like my face saw that? Like,
I remember
easy
when
forward.
my old band, like 20 years ago, we would go out of state and play shows. We always bring that glow-in-the-dark tape with us.
Ooh.
Because every time you're on stage and it's dark, you don't know how far it goes out or, whatever. So you put like a strip right at the end. Because there's been times where, I've had, singers and bands fall off the stage,
yeah.
fall on, they're like trying to get on stage and, miss the stairs and hit their head on the I mean, all sorts of
Misstep and-
crazy stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens way more than you think it does.
We played at a venue, and I didn't see a PA behind me because I'm wireless. So
Yeah.
I jump out in the crowd, and there's a PA behind me. Didn't see it. Busted ass, like fell over, feet up in the air, and they did the same thing. They just looked at me and just laughed. So I just finished the set, like on the ground.
Well, the best ones, especially singers do it all the time, is like, a lot of guitar players have these, say massive pedal boards, whatever.
Yep.
But the singers walk by and pull a chord out, and then they're just, the guitar player's dead. And they're like, what's going on? And looking down, there's like, empty chord out or something.
No, they do it to me.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got a wireless? And you,
They my box was plugged in to what's it called, a power cord,
Mhm.
the thingy. When you press a button, it'll turn it on. Press a button, turns it off.
right.
It was plugged into that, and Aaron at the time had walked up, and it was during Topic of Your Tongue, and it's really quiet, and it's just vocals and a little bit of guitar, and so it's like, who knew when I formed you? But instead of hearing that, you just.
Didn't hear anything.
So I'm singing, right, and I'm like, I don't hear anything. I'm looking around, the audience is like, can't hear anything. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I look over, and the thing is off. I'm like, I'm just gonna hit this, but I'm not tech savvy at all. God forbid
Yeah.
if someone's like, hey, set up this person's amp or something, I'd be like, oh, you're so
Especially
fucked.
nowadays. Ooh, my God. Especially with drummers.
I haven't. Oh God, they don't let me touch anything, and it's really for the best. I
Yeah,
mean,
my buddy, you'll appreciate this. I have my buddy. His name's Kenny Sheritz. If he's watching, Kenny Sheritz, how are you doing, my brother?
Can you share it?
Anyways, he's a drum tech, and he's a professional drum tech. He's got the road with Janet Jackson. He's been out with Janet Jackson, Stevie Wonder. He was Train's guy for a long time. He was out with Puff Daddy on the Bad Boys tour or whatever. He's got all these, and he has a side band, or actually his band. It's called Super Fleek. They're like a dance cover band, really, really good, great players. And he's a pretty big electronic rig. It's all,
Yeah.
I mean, there's just tons and tons of cables.
Yeah. Oof.
So we did this benefit for a guitar player, a friend of mine. He had back surgery and stuff. So anyways, Kenny's band played.
Yeah.
And so, when you're doing those kind of benefit things, you got to get off quick. You got to get on quick. I mean, so he puts up his electronic stuff, and he's running sequencers. He's running vocals, like backing vocals. He's running all this stuff. And I just told him, I said, dude, okay, just tell me what you need me to do, because I don't know how this rig works.
Yeah.
And he goes, put this in there, put that in there, and then put this over here, and put this up over here. I mean, it was like electronic spaghetti. And the cool thing about him is, he was kind of being not demanding, but he's like, I got to get on off. I got to get, on quick and all this kind of stuff. And he's a professional tech, so he deals with that all the time.
Yeah.
So every other couple sentences, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. Because he knew he was being that way, and it was like super cool. But he's got a drum channel on YouTube. It's for tuning tips and tech tips and all sorts of. I mean, he's like endorsed and sponsored by all these great companies. This is a great guy altogether. And actually, he's doing if you're familiar with Tommy's Drum Shop in Austin, he is doing a clinic for like tuning drums, and actually I think we're gonna try to do a live podcast from there for it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he is super. I mean, when it comes to check out, I'll send you a link for his YouTube thing. He's an awesome guy too.
He needs some new drum things like.
I just need new drums.
Yeah,
to begin with.
He could use a little drum love. So
yeah, but he's just a great dude. Yeah. So
shameless plug-in for him.
Yeah, but I talk about it all the time. He's
a
a talented cat, man, and he's, the drummer Kenny Aronoff.
Yeah,
he was Kenny's tech for a long time. Yeah, so he's been around the block. He just got off the road with Janet Jackson like not even a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so he was out with her for
still doing stuff.
Yeah,
I hate to sound
like arenas. Yeah,
shit, wow.
Big stuff.
She's doing big. That's like Gaga now has a residency in
Vegas. Yeah.
Vegas.
I think starting this year.
Yeah, she's gonna have a show in Vegas now.
Cool. That I mean, but like Gaga's still like, everybody knows Gaga's still doing stuff. I didn't know Janet.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah.
Stuff.
Well, that was like Mariah Carey the other night.
Oh.
Hey.
What was the deal with that?
Hey.
Someone do with some kind of cup of tea or something? I didn't catch it.
No, I didn't. Well, I don't know about this year. I know that I was told that she
the lip sync thing from last year.
She redeemed herself this year because she ended her career last year on New Year. So apparently she redeemed herself this year, but I was just surprised because I hadn't heard anything about it. And then as I was watching CNN, they didn't cover her, but in the back on a giant screen, I saw her playing, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Well, they said something about, like, the internet was buzzing about something about she had a cup of hot tea or something. I don't even know what the story behind it was.
Maybe
you know what I'm talking about?
I didn't get to see her. Maybe it was just really cold and had to have hot tea to keep because it's cold out there.
Well, they said it was like a diva moment, so it was like maybe she was like, "Oh, well, I can't go on without hot tea," or whatever the case may be.
I mean,
yeah,
could be. I know.
What's that on your case?
Oh, it's Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus from Sailor Moon. I got it from a good
isn't that special?
fish face. Yeah, yes, it is. I love it. If you guys can't see it, but
I can.
It's wonderful.
I'm
so jealous.
We got 10 people chiming in to watch us, and the podcast are watching us talking to microphones.
It's weird because there's certain people that'll view it live, but then like the next couple of days you'll see it. People watch the whole thing.
Supposed to
Make
ask
it time.
if that skull up there is authentic.
What skull? This one?
I think maybe the one behind you.
Oh no, that's
that was filled with vodka.
That was filled with vodka. This right here. That's off of some kind of voodoo stick I had for Halloween.
No. I got one of those when I went on a trip to Disney World.
It's not a shrunken head.
Not a shrunken head.
On that though, that in a second. At Disney World, I got one of those sticks too. Those like voodoo staffs.
Yeah.
It has the little crazy hair and stuff like that. I had one of those. I still have the head. The staff broke in half, but I've still got the head sitting in my house. But the shrunken head thing. So my mom was a collector of all things crazy. She has tons of stuff, anywhere from I've got pieces of ivory and stuff, which you can't even tell. I don't know how she got them anyways, but there's a walrus tusk that's engraved and all this stuff.
She had just stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
All sorts of crazy stuff.
Well, she got really excited one day. She was like, guess what? And I was like, what? And she's like, I bought a shrunken head. And I was like,
a real one?
Oh, I was like,
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
I was like, okay.
Where do you get a shrunken head?
So I saw the thing.
She just would peruse the internet, right?
Yeah. I finally saw the thing, and I mean, it's creepy looking. The eyes are like there's yarn through the eyes, stringing the eyes.
Is
shut
it like a
and the mouth
bottle or
shut.
something?
No, it's a head.
Oh, get the fuck out!
Yeah.
Really?
It's got hair and everything.
Holy
eyebrows.
shit!
And it smells funny, so you're not
It
really
smells
sure.
like formaldehyde.
Yeah, you're not really sure if it's is shrinking heads like
A monkey head, maybe.
Here's the thing. I did the research on it.
Oh.
So here's the thing.
Come with a serial number.
Yeah.
Well, no. The thing is, the hair would have had to have been, in order to be fake, the hair would have had to have been implanted into the thing. Right. And if you look from the inside, it's not. It's growing out. And so some people said, well, it could be from like a cow or something like that. But all of the features are defined.
Oh, that's fucked up.
It's an actual shrunken head.
But do they shrink the skull, or is it just
Dude,
like
I don't know how they
The
do
skull
that.
is taken out, then they form it around
Oh.
something and dry it, and it dries around that, and then they take the thing out, and you have
why would you keep that?
It's sort of like taxidermy.
a shrunken head. So it's real. It's a thing, and I
Jesus
don't
Christ.
If
where.
anybody's watching and knows anything about shrunken heads,
Please fill us in if you've
yes,
got any
let's find
information.
out if
this is for
Is
real.
it dangerous?
That's like when you
Should
like
I have it?
like these crazy people with their pets when their pets die, they
Yeah.
get them stuffed.
Oh, I couldn't.
But basically, all they do is they just make like a mold of the body, and they
Mm.
just put the skin over. That's all it is.
I
Yeah,
feel like I would be really sad
You know what are you gonna do?
but yeah, no. If anybody
Some
has
people that-
information about that thing,
about shrunken heads.
Shrunken's head. Ew, jeez, that's some crazy shit.
yeah, no. So
Dave
speaking
Pruitt
of
just
it,
put up something real shrunken heads for sale.
It's
Wait,
I told
wait,
you,
hold on. You both,
Fucking
you guys,
Dave.
the two of you both deal with shrunken heads all the time, so y'all should be experts.
Shrunken heads? What are you talking about? Shrunken heads?
Shrunk-
Oh, I get it. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one.
one.
Took me a second.
It
Took
did
me a
take you a
second.
second. Eh,
Hey, for 50, I'm doing pretty good though.
yeah.
Still.
This
so.
guy's 50. Can we just talk about
49.
how he doesn't
49.
look 49? He doesn't look 49
I don't know.
at all.
Thank you.
Like,
Is it thing?
so we were walking up, and I was like, I don't know. Is this his house? And he was like, yeah, that's him. I can see his hair. And I was like, how do you know his hair? And he goes, he added me, so I know what his
It's
hair
like
looks
he added
like.
me on Facebook.
That's
I
right,
just
yeah,
saw
I
a
did this
picture of him
morning,
earlier,
Yeah. So he
it's his
recognized, I
hair.
guess, I wasn't looking through this
I need a
window.
haircut
I was like,
back.
he'd recognize you from your hair.
And I wasn't creepily looking through the
He
window.
was-
I was just looking,
I'm
and
sure.
I saw you, and I was
It's
like,
all
oh,
good.
well, you know, this is the place.
he was creepy. Don't
I
worry.
know
People
his
usually go
hair.
by and they see the disco ball, and they're like,
That's
oh,
what I did. I was like, it has to be the
it's
disco
got to
ball.
be the disco ball.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
funny because when you watch it, when you watch the podcast, like on YouTube or Facebook Live, whatever, you see that silhouette, and people are they call it the Death Star and stuff, and
Yay!
you know, I gotta actually lower that down and like put it right there or
Does
something.
it work?
Oh yeah, works. Yeah, so
So you're like
gotta
a
dust it off and stuff. So.
remote control
Shine
for
it
your
up a
disco
little bit.
ball?
You know, man, we've almost done 2 hours already. Believe
What?
that? Yeah,
Really?
it's 9:22 already. I got to do some ads.
BSing.
What?
As Zach
Huh?
puff some vape. You just got someone. Ayla says you look 26. Okay, thank
26.
You're doing pretty
I
good.
don't know, man. I don't know about 26,
pretty
but
you.
I'll
You look
take
26.
it. I'll take it. We got to talk about. All right, okay, I was gonna bring up the Dave Fest, but you know what? Dave's gonna have his whole day Saturday. We're gonna talk Dave Fest. We're gonna talk about Nathan. We're gonna talk about Dana. We're gonna talk about ear splitting media. This podcast on Saturday is gonna be out of fucking control because the last one we had a great fucking time. I'm looking so forward to it. These guys are just out of control, nuts.
Dave's a blast, so I can only imagine what it's gonna be like.
Nasty Nate. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with Nasty Nate because he's so much fun and everything. But anyways, let's talk about the CobraCast birthday bash slamboree, baby. Sunday, January 21st. It starts at 2:00 p.m. and it's at the Texas Mist. This is something I've been working on for a while now, and it's my dream come true. And someone is re-dinging my phone here. Well, I think it's my girlfriend. So I've been working. It's just like my dream come true to do this. I've always wanted to do with this podcast, and we were talking, about 6-8 months ago about, hey man, at the podcast going, it's going cool. Man, you ever gonna do like a festival thing? You ever gonna do a show? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know, man. I don't know who'd want to do it first.
Yeah.
And I don't know who would show up. And let's just give the podcast a little bit, let it run a little bit, and we'll see. So this came up, and I talked to Jim over at Texas Miss, and he was like totally on board. And every band that I asked said yes, like in a matter. I mean, we had the show together in a matter of an hour.
Hell yeah.
I'm not out of 9 fucking bands, but we did it on a Sunday because all the bands, play Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's do an event on a Sunday. It's not going to be on my birthday because what happened was, as everybody knows, my birthday is January 14th, which is on a Sunday, but Black Label Society, Corrosion of Conformity, and I Hate God are playing over at Emo's that night.
That
And
put a damper.
yeah, I put a damper on it. So,
Put a
and the
damper
thing
on
was, so I was talking to, to Jim over Texas Miss, and I said to him, actually, he's the one that called me about it and said, you might want to change that date. And I'm like, well, it might be a good idea. So, and the thing is, everybody that's going to do my show is going to want to go to that show.
Right.
And I'm not going to, who am I to say, hey, man, it ain't going to happen. You got to do my show.
One
Well,
or
it's
the
just
other.
smart because when big bands come
Right.
in, And if you try to play against that, you're probably just going to be playing to bands. You know?
Yeah. So, anyways,
playing to bands.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, we decided to do it the next week. So it's my birthday bash a week later.
Hey,
It's all good in the
that
hood.
means you get two celebrations.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm actually going to go to that show. That'll be actually a semi-small birthday party. So, anyways, but on this list, who is ringing over here?
Is it the girlfriend? Hi, girlfriend.
I don't know. But on this list, we have 333, LC Rocks, Dharma Kings, Free Bleeder, Darkness Ending, Naked and Fearless, which is a Tool tribute band, Preachers of Hell County, which is a brand new band out. I love these guys. It's sort of if you took like Primus and like Hank the Third and rolled and they had a baby, that would be them. Crazy band. And a brand new band coming out. It's their first show, Feed My Eyes, which is an Alice in Chains tribute band. Know these guys really well. It's just going to be a killer event. I'm super stoked, but that's Sunday, January 21st. It starts at 2 o'clock. Cover's going to be $5.
Oh, it's super
It's
cheap.
a deal.
Yeah, it's going to be, but it's going to be a big band hang because all the bands know each other, but never get to see each other because they're all playing their gigs all the time trying to make money in this town.
So it's going to be a big
True.
party, essentially.
Yeah, party for his birthday. Party.
Yes, and there's going to be
Big old
special guests, and which I can't say.
No.
People dropping in. Kenny Sherritt and Bill Ziliaks are the guest MCs for this plethora of greatness. It's going to be a fucking killer show. So if you can make it down, please come down and hang out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What do you guys know about Ear Splitting Media? Do you know anything?
Dana. Is there Cooper?
Huh?
Dana Cooper? Is that her last name?
Let me get into it. Anyways, I'm gonna read this ad because this is gonna tell you everything, man. Ear Splitting Media is bringing underground bands above ground and into the spotlight. They are the home of the 2 YouTube series Out on the Town and the Call Online Video Magazine. Now, the Call Online Video Magazine features local CD and show reviews. So if you have a show coming up, you guys got your CD coming out, ask them to review it, ask them to review your show. They'll go on and, give you an honest opinion. So if your
Cool.
band sucks, if your CD sucks,
Be prepared.
don't even call them because they're gonna
Get ready to be roasted.
you're gonna get roasted all sorts of ways. So, but anyways, on the flip side of that coin, so if you're having trouble keeping up with all your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram accounts, the Ear Splitting Media take care of all of that, so you can concentrate on your music, your business, or that big event you got planned. That's what they do. Ear Splitting Media
cool.
is a social media company. They handle a lot of my stuff because I'm kind of Twitter illiterate. I'm good at Facebook, and Instagram I'm still learning all that stuff. And so they help me out on that. When I put up a post within honestly, 10 seconds, it's shared by 7 different accounts,
Cool.
and hopefully the algorithm will let my post get out.
More
More
than 10%.
than
see it,
10% see it. So anyways, but like I said, for this event coming up, we're going to go deep. We're going to go hard because we got to get people out there. And it's going to be a killer event. So I'm going to be talking to Ear Splitting Media probably on Saturday because they're going to be up here.
Hey.
So, yeah, hey now. So, but anyways, Ear Splitting Media's promotion and post content can take whatever you got going on into the eyes and ears from people from all over the world. So hit them up on their Facebook page for package pricings and more info. Nothing but great people. Fantastic people. Anyways, Dana, Derek, Nola, Robert, and Eric are the crew over there. Dana will be up here on Saturday, and we're going to be talking social media. We're going to be talking Dave TV. We're going to be talking Dave Fest. I'm sure your names will come up.
A day of Dave.
Dave.
We do
All
love
Dave, all day. So Saturday is going to be National CobraCast Dave
Dave Day.
Day.
Dave's
Cobra
probably
Dave
like,
Cast
God, these
Day.
guys keep name
Hey,
dropping.
but the thing is, here, the way I look at it, man, he's doing a great job. So why not promote him? You know what I mean? I'm
Absolutely.
sure he's doing the same thing. I know he's doing the same thing with the podcast. I know he mentions the podcast on Dave TV. And, it's all about promoting each other,
Oh, yeah. Dave did a really awesome... It was our first run-in with Dave. And I was actually warned about Dave, but in a good way. They're like, if you see a guy show up, he'll have a name tag or something on them that says Dave, and he's got...
My name is Dave.
Yeah, and
My
he's got
name is
they're
Dave.
like, really nice camera. That's going to be Dave. If you see Dave,
My name is Dave.
go say hi. And I was like, all right. So I see this guy walk up and he's got a camera, and I was like, that has to be Dave.
You Dave?
And I walked up and I was like,
You Dave?
hi, are you Dave? And he was like, yeah, I'm Dave. And I was like, I know all about you. Super awkward. So we just sort of like hit it
Yeah.
off, and he put a really cool video together for us, a live video with our like he was super cool. Love the guy.
I'm like super stoked that it's a long story which I won't get into, but Dave is all about he's like a behind the scenes kind of guy. He likes promoting bands and doing that thing. He doesn't like really kind of come out of the woodwork to do his own thing. So to get him up here the first time was like it took a lot of doing, but he finally came up and he was like, okay, I get it. I get what you're doing. I think it's cool. And we had a blast, man. It was like 3.5 hours. But we just talked so much old school 80s shit and we just had a blast, man. It was like 3 kids just going off. So we're going to be doing that again on Saturday. So
Dave Day.
Yeah, Dave Day.
Dave Day. It's really what you should call it. Is just a
I know
Dave Day.
we've been talking a lot about Dave tonight. We're going to
Dave Day.
Fuck Dave.
We're done talking about you, Dave. Get out of here.
Anyways, I got one more sponsor, and then we'll. I wanted to know, because I need to talk to you later. Anyways, but anyways, are you needing merch for your band, your brand, your business, an event you got coming up? Crystal Jordan Creative Branding can take care of all your merch needs, from anything from shirts, koozies, to stickers, hats, banners, shot glasses, all sorts of cool shit. Because she does all my stuff. So whatever you want with your logo on it, she can handle it. So you can find Crystal Jordan on Facebook or on the web at crystaljordan.com, and she spells her name with an I. So it's Cristal. Crystal. Yeah, she does a lot of killer stuff, man. She did that banner, my shot glasses up there. She did.
Oh.
Yeah, just quality, cool merch, because there's a lot of merch you buy, and the stuff just is. I mean, you buy shirts. She's doing the event shirts for the CobraCast Slamboree.
Those shot glasses are impressive.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I definitely will be hitting her up because that's super cool.
Fucking badass.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Hey, no. So I mean, people buy shit off a line, and they'll buy T-shirts offline, and they'll wash the shirt once, and one of the arm falls off, or it shrinks down to where it doesn't even fit your Barbie doll. I mean, it's just shit you never know, So this is all quality killer stuff. I mean, she's hand-on, great customer service. I mean, so anyways, give her a shout on Facebook or on crystaljordan.com, and she'll take care of all your merch needs. So there you go. What are you gonna say? Unbelievable. Thank you guys for coming up here. This has been awesome.
Thank you
This
for
has
having
fucking
us.
been so much fun. You were worried about like this being like an interview.
Well, no, I was just asking. I was like, what do I need to prepare
No.
myself for?
I like to wing it. It's more fun that way.
I love winging it. Winging it is my life. So we did in the car. I think I was like, make sure we're on time. Make sure, because you just never know what to expect. And so I was like, let's not be late here. He said 7:15. Let's not be late. And then we roll in at 7.
It's all good in the hood. Don't worry about
I
it.
hope it's okay to be early.
No.
Like,
It's so relaxed
To
up
be
here.
early is to be on time.
Yes.
Metaphors was
As my father said, either be on time or be early. That's one thing about Austin. It was just really weird. I remember when I moved here, my dad told me, he goes, okay, now I know how you are. You're very punctual on everything you do. Now, people here are very relaxed. If they tell you you're going to be there at 8 o'clock, you might want it 8:30, 9, 9:15, if you're lucky.
It's kind
Or
of
if they
definitely
even
been that
show
way,
up at
yeah.
all.
Yeah. It's definitely been that way for like load-in times.
Yeah.
Like, but we've gotten kind of bad about it too. We'll like roll in like nonchalantly, like,
Yeah.
hey guys, here we are. We're not the opener, so
That's the thing about this event. We got like 9 bands. It's gonna be crazy. So I'm really wondering, okay, who's gonna have to be the bad guy and like start cracking whips? I don't want to be that
gonna
guy.
have to be you. It's your birthday.
Yeah, it's
You
my
will
birthday
make my
bash.
birthday go awesome.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
hire some big dude to start smacking some heads.
It's at a Texas Mist, right?
Yes, it is.
Make Yaska do it.
Oh shit.
Yaska's terrifying. When I first
He's
met him,
hired.
I was he's tall. He's like
Yeah,
he
but he's gonna be
seems
doing sound though. So
even worse. Those guys are terrifying. I'm always nice to
He's
the
really
sound
nice.
guy. They can like make or break you. You got to be nice to your sound guy.
oh, I know. And they got a killer system over there too.
Yes,
Jesus,
they
man, he keeps adding to it all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's great.
You know.
You guys should go to Texas Mist.
So what else you guys got? Pimp some stuff. You're here to pimp. What do you got?
Well, ladies.
Oh, social. Oh, okay.
What are our hoes?
So
Oh,
so
what?
where?
No, I mean, if we're pimps, then we're pimping out hoes. So what are our hoes?
You are the hoe.
I'm not a hoe.
I'm not a hoe.
What,
He's
like
a hoe.
Oh, he's a hoe.
we
Yeah.
have T-shirts. Those are
He's a
hoes.
hoe.
So
Oh.
if people want to learn about your band, where do they got to go?
You're going to go to www.autumnstay.com/store. That's where you get your merch.
Oh, hey now. There you go. There you go.
Hey.
Work it in, baby.
You
there
can
you go.
go to YouTube and type in Autumn Stay, and I'd really like it if you subscribe to Autumn Stay on YouTube, and then you can subscribe to me, Digital Danny 21. That is digital, DIGITAL, DANI 21. It is all one word. Please follow me. You can check us out on Instagram at Autumn Stay TX, Autumn Stay Official. I think it's Autumn Stay Official on Instagram, and then on Twitter it's Autumn Stay TX. There is another Autumn Stay on Twitter. It has a black picture. It is a lie. Don't follow
It's
that
a
one.
lie.
I got locked out of it a long time ago and couldn't ever get
You
back
can't take
in.
it down?
I can't get it to go. I can't. We tried so hard to get me back into it. Couldn't get back in. So I
Yeah,
just
Twitter's a bitch that
It
way.
was super hard.
Yeah.
So Autumn Stay TX on Twitter, Autumn Stay Official on Instagram, Digital Danny 21 for Twitter, Instagram. I say that because I post a lot, so if you could get double slammed.
You're
with
a
these
poster.
I'm social media whore. Is what
Okay,
they call it
well,
these days.
Yeah, that's good.
Social-
No,
or
I wish,
social media
man, I
junkie.
wish I could, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do that all day. I'm saying I wish I had time because I would go ape shit on social media if I had time, like if I was home, had a home job or something. I would be on there all the time. But it takes up too much goddamn time. It just does.
It's insane because I used to work for Red Lobster and used to think they're, oh my God.
Biscuits.
Yeah. And
My girlfriend makes those
they're so good.
out of the box. Those
Every-
little,
they're
delicious.
good. Yeah.
She makes them better than they do.
Okay, well, Red Lobster, you never know what you're gonna get.
I
But
know.
it's just interesting because beforehand we all had jobs and we would post, but now that I work from home, and Steven's great because Steven does all the heavy lifting, financially speaking,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, oh cool, I made some money. You need groceries, and I'm like poorly helping, but he's all the time like, it's okay, like
But you're helping though,
right
in a
because
small way.
it's actually like it sounds so small, but like in the grand scheme of things, since I've been able to be home all day, I'm able to sit there and shamelessly promote the band and bring
Yeah.
people to shows, and I can really focus on getting people there and spreading our, the business or brand
exactly.
or band
Yeah.
in a way that he's foreign to social media. He has no idea what he's doing.
I'm not good at it.
He's not. He the other day was like, "How do you tag yourself in something?" And I was like, "Boy,
I'm
come on."
still learning all that shit.
Right.
It's just
So like
I do. I'm getting better at it, but I mean, it takes a lot of work and how to, a lot of hit and misses.
yeah, like and now that I've been home and I'm home all day long and the internet is I'm so lonely that I'm going live all the time just so I can I guess maybe talk to myself, to talk to people. It's kind of lonely life, but I mean, it works. It helps the band out. I'm able to actually work on the band, which is great because it's not like, oh shit, I gotta go to bed because I've got work in the morning and I gotta
Right.
wake up and I'm too tired. I gotta take a nap because I'm exhausted. We got band practice. We got this. And instead, it's like, fuck, it's 6 a.m. I might think about sleeping and I might wake up at 2, but then I'll just get up and continue to promote the band or go live and talk to fans in a way that I
Yeah,
wasn't able
'cause-
to do before.
Yeah, because every time it's weird because with some of the videos, I see yours on there all the time. So I'm
all over.
part of your 10%.
You're part
I
of that
guess.
10.
Yeah, yeah.
You're part of the 10.
But I don't know if they're live or if they're taped because you got so many on there. It'll say live, but I don't know if it's maybe
Currently
10 minutes ago live or
was
it's
If
just,
you click the video and it gives you an option to scroll, it's old live. It's not live. If you click the video and it brings you to
pre-taped.
yeah, and it starts you in the middle of something, and I'm just already then that's straight up live because it
Cool.
won't give you an option to scroll back if it's live,
Oh.
in the moment live.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people watch the podcast on YouTube because they can pause it
Yes.
and rewind it while it's going.
Yeah.
While it's live, which is kind of strange.
I'm
so.
always so thankful for the people that chime in right now and
Yeah.
sit and watch because I'm not that type of person. I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm 2 minutes in and I don't know what I'm watching and I get so distracted, super
This is
distracted.
a whole different kind of thing because you can kind of jump in the middle of the conversation and
Right.
sort of kind of,
Right. And so even right now we've got people watching that have been here. Right now we have a fan on, Cassidy. She's super, super fan of ours. And she's been watching almost this whole time.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, how do you do it? I'm like a dog distracted. Oh God, I gotta click this.
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of people watch it, and a lot of people watch it on Facebook Live, and they'll watch it when it's convenient for them. They might catch 5 minutes when it's live. I know certain people have to watch it live. If they don't watch it live, they won't watch it at all. It's kind of crazy how it works, but people are people, you know.
It's a whole new playing field.
It is.
Like,
It's nutty.
learning.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So you guys are playing Dave Fest on January 13th. What time again?
8.
8 o'clock. So get there at 5 because I think the first band goes on at 6, right?
Yeah, and show up at 5 and
I know
come
Scorpio
talk to
Horizons
us.
is headlining. I'm not headlining, but starting
Opening,
off that
right.
night.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
check them out, man. They're a great band, and they're starting off this thing. So, man, if they're starting off this thing, the rest of the night's going to be killer.
It only gets better from there.
And it only gets better from there, if you can believe that.
And come talk to us. I know a lot of people. I know.
Nope.
I was like afraid. This guy.
I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I talked to you for 2.5
Said no.
hours the other night. I don't
I got mine.
I got enough
High
of
five.
you. Okay.
I'm only kidding.
Bye.
I'm just messing with you.
But he's probably not.
No.
But, but really.
I'll be signing autographs.
Yeah.
Signing Dave's name.
Like I remember going to like my first local show in Waco and seeing all the live local bands and thinking I want to talk to them so bad, but I'm too chicken shit. It's so I don't know. It's like this whole different. Even though they like it's a local band, you still have like this level of like respect and stuff. And I'm over there like, please talk to me. I'm such a chatty fucking Kathy. Like,
Yeah.
come talk to me.
And that's cool for me. I'm super stoked because there's a lot of bands I've heard about that I haven't seen before. So it's going to be cool to go and just check those bands out at Dave Fest.
I don't think you've never seen us before.
No,
have you?
I haven't.
You've never seen us. It'll be a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So
thinking,
it's going to be killer. I can't wait.
yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
I hope you're ready to get sung to.
You're going to sing? You're going to sing to me?
I'm
shit.
I'm wireless.
in trouble.
Beware.
I'm wireless. So
What to hide?
if you're not there, I'll know.
Beware.
No, I'll be there.
He'll
We're
be
going.
there, but
We are going.
will you be there?
I will be there.
Oh, no, I said beware.
Oh, beware.
Yeah. Because
That was what
Beware
I
if you're
said.
there.
I'm wireless, and there's nothing more fun than like
I know.
you go behind a curtain and everyone's like, oh, where'd she go? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, fuck, she's in my face. And
There
you're like,
she is.
You go,
like
shit.
the looks of people, the looks range from like, oh yeah, this is awesome to
Yeah, people are
get out
just,
of my face. Yeah, they
Some
get
people
like
enjoy
deer
it. Some people are
headlights.
kind of like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah, they get a little scared, but I don't care.
It's all good.
I'm
Don't
here
worry
to
about it.
invade your space.
No, it's all
Part of the
good.
show. Part of the show.
Part of the show.
Invade your
Part of the show.
space. You wanted personal space. You shouldn't have come to see Autumn's Day.
Oh no, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. It's gonna be good, a good, fun show.
Oh, I got to do a shout out. Happy birthday, Audrey.
Happy birthday, Audrey.
My niece is watching right
Oh,
now.
awesome.
Are you watching?
Happy
Audrey?
birthday, Audrey.
She's like 10.
Oh,
Are you 10 now? Oh
the
my
best.
God.
I wish I was 10 again.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No
probably.
responsibilities,
the freedom,
no bills to
Oh,
pay.
nothing
just
to do.
school, and you hated school,
Play
and you
my
couldn't wait
drums.
till you were 20, and then you get 20, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that responsibility is a hell of a responsibility.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Bills and stuff.
I know. It's like, don't you once in a while, like, just wish you were little again?
I just want to throw it out there, though. Like, I don't really have bills, but not having bills and really not having a whole lot of income is just as stressful. Because you're like, wow, I'm such
Yeah.
a piece of shit. I'm not making any
No.
money. And you like, it's like, it becomes like a panic. Like, all right, I want to eat, but what do I
Yeah,
have
eating's
to
important,
eat? So I'm
yes.
going to eat some rice. I was eating rice for a long time.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing in bands, my thing was we used to, of course, buy those big boxes of ramen. That was the big thing.
I am a
Rum.
ramen aficionado, and I can tell you I can make some bomb
Tell ya.
ramen with like.
Did you ever see that video of that girl? She ate nothing but ramen for a year, and she looked like she was this pasty white.
Oof,
She looked like,
no nutrition. She
I can
probably.
only
Yeah.
imagine.
well, it's all starch, right?
Yeah.
It's only like 150,
She was like this
200 calories per
pasty-
thing.
Like Marilyn Manson, pasty white looking,
Probably.
She became the noodle.
pretty much.
You
and
too
with
can
that,
become the noodle.
all right, people, I think we're gonna head out. Like I said, Saturday, I'm on that screen too.
Yeah.
Saturday,
Screens
January
everywhere.
13th at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Autumn.
Stay.
Stay.
Not
Stay.
what was the one?
No. I was gonna do stay.
Stay.
You messed it all up.
Oh shit! I messed it up. But what was it you
fucking-
originally called us?
Autumn. Is autumn fall?
Autumn. Oh wait. And
I don't know what
Autumn
it was,
fall.
Here,
man.
I don't know if you guys can see it. It's really cute. It's on his calendar. It says Autumn's.
Yeah, that's my calendar.
Autumn's stay. There we go. It's
Yeah.
super cute.
Anyways, as I end the podcast every time with the same saying, and I know you guys are probably sick of hearing it. I don't care, but it rings so true this fine Wednesday night. People, please, please, please try to do the right thing, because Lord knows most of you don't. And with that, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you on Saturday with Dave, Nathan, and Dana. Peace out. Later.